I think the development of full artificial intelligence will spell the end of the human race.
It's a flying object, and we don't know what it is. I would hope somebody is checking it out.
With a rocket or whatever, but incredibly fast, opposite direction. It was too fast to be an airplane.
I'm glad the Pentagon is looking at this, because if it poses a threat, I want them on top of it.
Well, the craft generates its own gravitational field.
So you said there's lights in the sky?
The internet has become the command center for criminals and terrorists.
Aliens won't let it happen. You know, that's what we're instructed to say.
Roger, Area 51. Alien kept deep under the ground.
Doesn't have your best interest in mind. The government is self-serving. You're here for a reason. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. Broadcasting live from a secret bunker just off the extraterrestrial highway. Somewhere in the desert sands outside of Las Vegas. From somewhere in space-time, loosely labeled Generation X on planet Earth. And asking questions of you in earnest into the digital darkness. Good evening and welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange. And hello to all of you who might also have troubled minds. What's up, guys? Back to the old intro. No actual radio tonight, just us, Troubled Minds Radio. How's everybody doing? Friday night means it is show night. It's time to talk about all the weird things we love to talk about. Aliens, conspiracy, the paranormal, and everything in between. This show, we talk about the 24-hour news cycle. We talk about academia. We talk about the government. We talk about propaganda. So many things we talk about. That's part of it. That's part of it. Part of doing it this way is so we can do all of these things and talk about lots of things and not just the same thing over and over again. Who gets sick of talking about the same thing over and over and over again? Yep, I do. So if it's that's good. Good we get to mix it up. Good we get to talk about these things. Good we get to think about these things, and that's really what this show's about. If you want to be part of the show, by the way, this show's live. We do the show live to include you. It's part of the transparency process. It's part of the whole. You got to take a breath here or a breath there. You pause and say or ah, and don't really don't have the exact perfect thing to say all the time because, well, it's live. It's a fantastic trade-off, in my opinion, to get your opinion, and that's how we've always done it. That's how we've always done it, and that's how we will always do it. So there you go. 702-957-1037 if you want to be part of the show tonight. You can join the Discord as well at troubledminds.org is the official website. Phone number is on the top of the website. The Discord link is right there on the top of the website. You can't go wrong. You go to the website, you get the information you need. We're streaming on the website, and and all the other things. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on DLive, I believe, still. They're trimming us back. They're taking it down. They're We used to be on well, Twitch is a different thing entirely now, so we've kind of split that off to do something different. So we have a whole new conspiracy show. It's just the news. If you guys have been over to Twitch, I know many of you have. We stream that live Sunday through Thursday. It's changing to 3 p.m. Pacific just to give us more time to get the new calendar here right and everything working appropriately. So stay tuned. I'm not sure exactly how we're going to do the calendar because I'll be perfectly honest, it's a ton of work. It's a ton of damn work. And so maybe I'll trim out, I don't know, maybe I'll trim a day out just so I can maybe go to bed early and kick my feet up. You know how it is. It's a ton of work. It's only me. All the things that get clicked, all the art that gets made, all of the shows that get prepped, all the shows that get done. Yeah, it's me. It's a lot of work. So I'm not fibbing. It is. I'm tired. It's been a long week. Lots to do. But it doesn't matter because we're here talking UFOs. That's what's on deck tonight. So we're going to do this old school. We're going to do this the way we usually do it. We're going to do shout outs and say hi to people. We'll add that as we go and just kind of talk about reading some chat, doing our thing, and getting to the rest of this. One more time, if you want to be part of the show tonight, watching the phone lines, watching the Discord, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link. troubledminds.org, and we'll do that. So let's go and do just a little bit of shout outs. Actually, so here, let me read the Bailey wants to know. What's up, Bailey? Bailey gets first because Bailey's got a question. Bailey wasn't actually first, but Bailey wants to know what's the topic tonight. And the topic is this. I'll just read it. Anomalous, bizarre, and rare lightning has been spotted from space. How much could this lend to the UFO mythology? That's what's on deck tonight. That's what the topic is. There's some interesting articles we'll take a look at, and we'll go into the past and look at Project Blue Book. Everybody remember the old UFO terms they used to say? They used to call what would you say? They used to call UFOs ball lightning, right? They used to call it ball lightning. They used to call them swamp gas. They used to say Project Blue Book classified anomalous UFO sightings as people mistaking Venus, things like this, right? It's a lot of really kind of out there stuff where you kind of smack yourself in the forehead and wonder, like, is this really the government stepping up trying to explain these things to us, or is this just another UFO cover-up, right? I think that needs to be a t-shirt at some point, just another UFO cover-up. So, because, well, I mean, they seem to happen again and again. All right, let's go over to Facebook and say hello to everybody. How you doing tonight, guys? Thanks for being here. We got Derek. Hello. Derek gets first on Facebook, and Noble Kal-El Wubba Lub Dub gets first on YouTube. Dual first. Eli with a close second. Eli slipping first almost every day. Slipping. What's up, Eli? We got Edwin on Facebook. Thanks for being here. We got Matt. Welcome to the new USSA. Yeah, right. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to proclaim gloom and doom just yet because they changed the president. Because don't forget, guys, the presidents don't really run this joint. I think it's pretty clear. The last 4 years have kind of demonstrated the dislike of a hard-headed president, okay? And so I don't think much is going to change, to be perfectly honest. Just talking about stepping out about that comment there and talking about politics for just a sec. I don't think it's going to change. I think the deep state is still the deep state. I think a lot of those people that are still there, and I think they've got themselves a malleable and what would you say? Let's say advisable president in what they've got. So again, like we'll keep an eye on the press as they kind of stand down now, and they've stopped going to war. No more Orange Man bad to go after. So they're going to start talking about shoes and watches, like we said. Joe, what's up? Joe from Florida. Hello. Hell yeah, everyone is in bed and I has a peace and quiet. Yes, welcome to the Friday peace and quiet. What's up, William from Singapore? Thanks for being here. We got we just became socialists, says Matt. I'm not so sure. Again, I don't know if that's the case. What's up, Coriana? Says, holy crap, you guys really stepped up your intro music since I watched last. Hot damn. Welcome, Coriana. Welcome back. Thanks for being here. The music is part of change under Biden. Enjoy. Wow. Matt, slow down. I'm telling you, it's not like you think it is. Biden is just a centerpiece. Anyway, we're taking calls on all this. As always, guys, we'll talk about this stuff. We're going to continue shout outs here. But the thing is this, we do this live. If you want to talk about that, you guys want to talk about the election stuff, we're open to that. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link. I'd love to hear from you guys. And what are you thinking? What, are you feeling different? Do you feel that change is actually in the air? Or do you feel that it's the same old BS, just a new wrapper, right? They remove the old orange wrapper and they put a new gum under the shoe, wrap it around, and that one that's been in politics for 50 years or some such. It's the same thing. To me, it's the same damn thing. It doesn't change because of people running this joint, or this is still there. Anyway, what's up? Let's see, Joey. How you doing? Elizabeth, how you doing? Old people are pissed. They don't like this new shiz. What's up? What's up? You mean the music? Yeah, the Hunger Games scenario. What's up, Elizabeth? Joey says, ooh. Let's see. Matt says, you mean socialist government, Mike, right? Well, I mean, that's what I mean. The socialists have been trying to run this country for a very long time now. It's doing its thing. It's doing its thing. There are people behind the curtain, Yeah. No, I know, Matt. I follow you, buddy. I follow you. And I feel your pain. Here's why. I'll explain why I don't like it. Because we have three branches of government in alignment. And so when things are prepped to go bad, that's when things are prepped to go bad. When you have no easy opposition to stop people from doing stupid things, then a lot of stupid things get done. So that would be my concern. So I'm with you. I understand. Robert says, we pray for the good old days with the remains of the bad. So bring on the good. I've got lots of bad saved up. Amen to that. Let's see. Derek, I'm so excited. I got first on Facebook. Well, welcome. Happy Friday. Sam, what's up, Jacksonville, Florida? Any news on the documents the CIA are supposed to release? They did release a bunch, and we'll go back at some point and follow up on those. It's like I said, it's a ton of time to go through and put shows together and stuff, because you got to go through documents and you got to go through audio clips, and it's a research project kind of every single time we do a show. So I only have so much time. We'll get back to these CIA documents at some point, but they have been released. We did a whole show on that couple ways back. Check it out right there on YouTube. You can't miss it. What's up? Joey says, low the shoes, the old shoes. Sometimes you got to rewrap it in old shoes. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Noble Kal-El? First, like I said, Eli, close second, Fred from Phoenix. Thanks for being here. We got Bailey. Hello, Bailey. We got Maudi, but what's up? Did I miss the stream? Nah. You're right in time. Topic: anomalous, bizarre, and rare lightning has been spotted from space. How much could this lend to the UFO mythology? What's up, Emma? Good evening. I hope all is well. Look forward to your stream tonight. Thank you. Thanks for being here. What's up, Mr. Ark? I see you on Discord there. Marge, hello, friends. I'm here, but going to listen while I work. Again, I'm over. I'm going to see if I can get some friends over. Sweet. Bailey says, UFO mythology is going to be dope. well, I hope so. Gray Rapper says Madib. Yeah, okay. I mean, whatever. Yeah, I thought I was making it funny, but I don't know. Maybe I wasn't. What's up, Derek says, what are the branches? Left, right, and the elites? Yeah, exactly. It's like the left and the right, which is the illusion. And then it's like the people that are pushing the money, the people that actually run it, like the technocrats, like, what would you say? Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, now Elon Musk is up there because he just keeps getting more and more rich. It never ends. This stuff never ends, right? So like I said, I'm not tripping too hard because the same people are literally in charge. But now we have government aligned to kind of run off the rails. So that's the thing. What else do we got? Everybody else is there. Mr. Ark, salute. All right. So we'll continue with the shout outs as we go, as everybody sometimes shows up fashionably late because they know that we take our time to get started here because it's a long show. This is a long form talk show, and tonight we're talking about weird lightning. So let's look at this. Let's go to this article that this was on Live Science today, and maybe you guys know about this, maybe you don't. I didn't, and so I thought it was fascinating because the UFO mythology and the rest of this, and Project Blue Book and a bunch of these things have described in the past UFOs as being part of the, lightning as being part of the UFO explanations, right? That people have a hard time identifying lightning. Okay, so I was like, all right, well, we make fun of that quite a lot, but there's a lot of things that we make fun of that we talk about here anyway. So I thought it would be interesting to kind of go through some of the stuff here and maybe see if it's plausible in any way, shape, or form. Now that science has changed, we got satellites in the sky, not just military satellites, but we have like public satellites, right? We have the GPS system that's up there doing its thing. We got SpaceX and private companies putting satellites up. We got Google with their satellites to do Google Maps and all the rest of this. Apple and everybody, right? So I think since the old days, I think we can probably look at this and wonder if anything's changed, right? So since we can see these different chunks of lightning, maybe from satellite or from space or wherever else, that maybe there's an explanation here that could make some sense, right? For some of these UFO sightings that we always talk about on the show, of course. Sprites is one of them. What's up, Joey? So definitely, there's some interesting things here that we'll talk about. Let's see. 3 branches are left, and left at this time. Exactly. I'm with you, Matt. I'm with you. I understand your concern. Like I said, I'm also concerned. No checks and balances for 2 years, which caused the lightning. Yeah, that could be. Yeah, that very well could be. Maybe that's what's going on. That the sky is freaking out. There's a disbalance in the universe. Okay. Anyway, let's read this. This is brand new. This is brand new today. This is from Live Science, and let's just read a little bit of this. Scientists on the International Space Station spotted a bright blue lightning bolt shooting upward from thunderclouds. Blue jets can be difficult to spot from the ground since the electrical discharges erupt from the tops of thunderclouds. But from space, scientists can peer down at this cerulean light show from above. On February 26, 2019, instruments aboard the space station captured a blue jet shooting out of a thunderstorm cell near Nauru, a small island in the Central Pacific Ocean. The scientists described the event in a new report published January 20th in the journal Nature, which here you go. Let's give you a link to that if you guys are interested in that. Because, of course, like I said, we're not going to read any scientific papers on this show because it'll bore you to tears and you'll bounce. But here is the link to that. It's a huge link. Sorry for the huge link, but this is what it is. I'm linking it in the chat. And you guys could read into this if you prefer the long version. As always, as you know, I prefer sources. I like to look into some of these things, and I do like to read up on some of this stuff to see if it's a bunch of BS or if it's anything else entirely. So there you go. There's the actual paper that was published in Nature, nature.com. What's up? Robert says, Hank Aaron was healthy when he received the COVID vaccine. 8 days later, he was dead. Is that true? So I know Hank Aaron, Henry Aaron, guys, if you're not baseball fans, was the home run king before the steroid era, and he broke Babe Ruth's home run record, right? But he just passed away today, and so I didn't know that, Robert. I did not know that. I'll look into that. So he just got his vaccination and he passed away, huh? That's horrifying. Is it related? Of course, we do not know. I'm not making that claim. I'm just reading the chat. Derek says, every time I tune in, I want to watch Fire in the Sky. Travis Walton makes me sad. Yeah, hopefully at some point we can get Travis Walton on the show. What's up, Robert? I see you there. Robert says, I got a new drone and a scope. I'm going to find something somewhere. Yeah, do it. Again, we got Fred from Phoenix here. He found some stuff. He's got a FLIR camera he's been messing with, and he actually sent us some footage of some actual anomalous things. So it's out there, guys. If you're out there looking, you'll find it. There's things out there that are bizarre, to say the least. UFOs, as we say, as we've always said, unidentified flying object may or may not mean aliens, right? I think that's the thing. They say that. It's the trope. It's how they demean us and malign what we're talking about. Is every time there's a light in the sky, it's tinfoil hats and aliens, right? But of course we know we're smarter than that, and we understand that it's not as simple as that. It's a little more complicated. There's lots of things, right? There's people seeing these orbs, these spirit orbs they call them, and as we're going to talk about some of this lightning stuff, we'll talk about ball lightning tonight and where that came from actually, and some of the technology. Like I said, maybe some of it, our understanding of ball lightning has changed since the Project Blue Book days of the 1960s, but maybe it hasn't. So we'll look into some of that tonight. Fred says still looking. He's out there in the chat, still looking in the sky with that FLIR camera, telling you guys the stuff is out there. We get what's his Gamervet? Gamervet is also he's a truck driver, and he's out there and he sees things in the sky all the time. You know, you spend more time looking at the sky, you're going to see more interesting things. So yeah. Anyway, it's out there. It is the thing. If you guys want to tell me about any of this stuff you've seen, I'm open to hear about it. You know the drill. We do this live to include you. 702-957-1037. You click the Discord link, troubledminds.org, and yeah, we're talking about bizarro lightning today and weird anomalous stuff, and yeah, and how maybe this has changed or maybe this has not changed since the Project Blue Book days. So okay, back to this article here. Let's see, did I link it on Facebook? I think I did. Here we go. Let's link this just in case I didn't. Double check me. Here we go. As always, like I said, here's the sources I'm getting this stuff from. Here's where I'm reading it from. If you guys are interested, go read it. Go check it out. Go make sure I didn't change this on you and I'm trying to brainwash you into believing something that is not real, right? No, these are the sources. If the source is fake, the source is fake. I'm reading it from a source, and that's that. Anyway, here we go. So let's see. Okay, so the scientists describe the event, this blue jet, right, that is seen. We'll play this in a sec. They say elves seen from space. We'll play this video. So the scientists first saw 5 intense flashes of blue light, each lasting about 10 to 20 milliseconds. So very fast. The blue jet then fanned out from the cloud in a narrow cone shape that stretched into the stratosphere, the atmospheric layer that extends from about 6 to 31 miles above the Earth's surface. That would be 10 to 50 kilometers for you types that are metric types. Blue jets seem to appear when the positively charged upper region of a cloud interacts with the negatively charged boundary between the cloud and the air above, according to the report. Now, the blue jet appears as a result of this electric breakdown, when the opposing charges swap places in the cloud and briefly equalize, releasing static electricity. However, the properties of blue jets and the altitude to which they extend above clouds, quote, are not well characterized. Doesn't that sound like a fancy way of saying we don't really know? Just checking. But anyway, it continues. The authors noted, so this study adds to our understanding of the dramatic phenomenon. So the article continues. Anyway, what do you guys think about this so far? Let's play. I'm going to play this video. This is what they're seeing from space. I'm going to play this on the screen here, and you guys can see what's going on. And what we're looking at, and why this is in my opinion worth talking about, because there's a lot going on, right? As always, there's a ton going on here, and as it loops, you can kind of see these blue jets kind of poking out from the top of clouds. They're seeing these things from space, and let's see. All right. Of course, you can't just have like a video of the thing. You have to have like the intros and the outros, and you know how this works. So I'll just keep bumping it back. But there we go. That's what we're talking about, like these like a blue jet from the top of the clouds kind of shooting out towards space itself. And so as you can see, if you look at the video, there's like what appears to be like maybe lightning pockets below it, kind of coming from the same cloud mass as you would be able to see on Earth, right, from underneath. But for some reason, as described in the article there, we have these lightning jets that shoot out up into space. So again, like the weird part here is there's a lot of weird parts in my opinion, but the weird part is that do we fully understand the lightning phenomenon with of course chaos theory and this type of thing, where you can't really kind of my argument against computer models and that whole climate change bit is that there's so much we don't know, that taking what little we do know and then trying to geoengineer the world is just folly, in my opinion. It's like I don't know what's a good way to describe it. I can't think of a good way. It'll come to me. But it just cart before the horse type situation. Like, you got to understand what's really going on before you start considering changing the atmospheric conditions of a planet to change temperature. That's just absurd to me. But anyway, so you get the idea. You're seeing some of this in the stream here as we keep on trucking. But what do you think? Have you heard of these things? These blue jets shooting out into space, this blue lightning or whatever the hell's going on here? And again, do you think that maybe what does this look like from down below? If you can or can't see it, maybe you catch the corner of an eye, or maybe you believe it's a UFO. Who knows? This is pretty cool stuff. I'm going to link this video if you guys want to do full screen this and check this out. But here you go. There's the YouTube video where this came from. Like I said, pretty interesting, and like I said, worth talking about, or else I wouldn't be talking about it, in my opinion, of course. But okay, here we go. Let's link this. Let's link that. Let's do all the things, and let's see. There we go. There we go. There we go. Got some good chat here. What's up, Matt? Says global warming, Mike. Yes, exactly. The global warming. Yes, it is. Well, the Earth is warming. I tell you what. So yeah, Derek says the Earth shifting, moon is so higher than last year. Is it? Again, this is the type of stuff. Again, I can't catch it all, guys. I can't catch it all. If you want to fill me in on that or anything else, you got takes on this lightning stuff. If you knew this existed, if you didn't, if you're curious about how this kind of fits into the ball lightning and that UFO phenomenon, we're taking your calls. You know what to do. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link, troubledminds.org, and you can be part of the show. troubledminds.org, the official website. Let's see. Leslie, what's up? Thanks for showing up. Who else? Hello. I think we're good. Let's see. Gray Rapper. Maddeep. Gray Rapper. Yes. All right. What else? Who else am I missing on Facebook? Let's go over there. Scully, that giant circular pulse in the blue lightning looks amazing. I agree. Crazy, right? Derek says milliseconds are like 0.10000s of a second. That's fast. Exactly. And so not only that, they end up doing what, right? They catch it, they're able to slow it down, and we're able to see it, which is pretty neat stuff. But yeah, so I'll play that again as we go, just as for the folks that maybe show up a little later and didn't catch it the first time. But yeah, interesting. So I'll read the rest of this article, and then we'll keep on moving here. So again, it kind of made me wonder. So we're seeing these things, right? And we clearly don't get catches of them or video of them all the time. So again, of course, right? If it's something that they happen so incredibly quickly, and we're when it, they're talking about it in this paper like it's some sort of super hot news, then what do we know about the environment, right? What do we know about the atmosphere of the Earth? And and again, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying we don't know anything, but I'm saying that in the totality of things to know about it, I think not knowing enough is good enough for me to not geoengineer. So just FYI, that's not really the purview of the show. Just kind of a digression here. But that's what I'm thinking about as we talk about this. Let's see. What's up, Scully? Says thanks for showing up, Scully. I already read that. Let's see. Elizabeth says they are adding chemical elements into our atmosphere via geoengineering planes trails, and that is a fact. And not only that, they're talking about doing it, putting reflective particulates in the air now. So stepping up whatever campaigns they have currently. So and these things are being discussed at the highest levels of academia. I think that's the scariest part here, right? Which again, all the climate change alarmism and all this stuff that drives me nuts all the time that I'm always talking about. It ends up causing what? We can inadvertently be our own undoing by thinking we're trying to save the planet, right? Like they say that the path to hell is paved in good intentions. I think that's what we're looking at here with that. Well, I don't know. I guess the good intention part is debatable. But anyway, let's continue with this. So we're talking about this blue lightning from space, right? It's these blue jets that shoot up. They shoot up from the atmosphere and the clouds of Earth, and pretty interesting video. Just linked it there if you guys want to check it out. But here we go. So blue jets seem to appear when... Wait, did I read that? Yeah, I think I read that. All right. Okay, let's see. Let's do it anyway. Let's recap. Blue jets seem to appear when the positively charged upper region of a cloud interacts with the negatively charged boundary between the cloud and the air above, according to the report. The blue jet appears as a result of this electric breakdown, where the opposing charges swap places in the cloud and briefly equalize, releasing static electricity. However, the properties of blue jets and the altitude to which they extend above the clouds are not well characterized. The authors noted, so this study adds to our understanding of the dramatic phenomenon. Okay, good stuff, right? This is definitely good stuff. So four of the flashes preceding the blue jet came with a small pulse of ultraviolet light, the scientists noted. They identified these emissions as so-called ELVs, right? This is another term they use for different types of lightning, ELVs, E-L-V-E-S. So another phenomenon seen in the upper atmosphere. So ELVs, E-L-V-E-S, is an acronym that stands for Emissions of Light and Very Low Frequency Perturbations Due to Electromagnetic Pulse Sources. And that they are light emissions that appear as rapidly expanding rings in the ionosphere, a layer of charged particles that extends from roughly 35 miles to 620 miles above the planet's surface. Now, these ELVs occur when radio waves push electrons through the ionosphere, causing them to accelerate and collide with other charged particles, releasing energy as light, the authors wrote. And again, this is from that paper. I did link it if you guys want to go read the whole thing, if you're into these scientific papers. So there we go. There we go. That's what we're talking about tonight. That's the article. I'm going to link it one more time. And again, does this make you wonder about UFOs? You know, it made me think about them. The first thing I thought when I saw that article was like, okay, wait, you know, like, so we're saying that we have these new scientific papers. We're discussing not just lightning, but UFOs, right? Like, because if we're learning new things about lightning and that we couldn't characterize back in the 60s with Project Blue Book, and then we wrote a bunch of things off as ball lightning and swamp gas and things like this, you know, weather balloons, Venus in the sky. You guys know. We've talked about this stuff quite a lot, but it's weird, isn't it? It's a little bit weird. So anyway, that's what we're talking about tonight. That's what we're kicking it with. Looking for your thoughts as usual. Any of your thoughts is good. Lets me sip some beer. 702-957-1037 if you want to be part of the show tonight. Click the Discord link, and we're talking about, again, lightning, ball lightning, Project Blue Book, UFOs, these blue spikes, these blue, what are they called? Blue, there's a term. There's an actual term. Blue jets is what they're called. So millisecond lightning spikes that shoot up from the clouds up into space. And so we've got some video of these, a paper that's being written, and so I'll read just a little bit more of this paper as we continue. But that's what we're talking about tonight. That's what we're doing. Just here kicking it. We are not on the Fringe tonight, not on the actual radio. We're just us. We're just kicking it, talking about this stuff and hanging out on Facebook and YouTube and D-Live and wondering how this kind of fits into the UFO story, if it does at all. Again, you got to be open to all the things. What's up, Marge? I see you there. Let's see. Who else? Let's see. What's up, Penny? Thanks for being here, Penny from the UK. I've shared you out to my community tab. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm close to 1K followers on this channel now, so should be hopefully getting my community tab on here soon. Thank you. I didn't even know that was a thing. We are flirting with 1,000 followers as well. So, but we've been demonetized because they did that to us right after we started. So, so whatever. I don't know. Like that. It would be nice, but whatever. This isn't for the money. Okay, so anyway, let's keep on moving, shall we? So again, one more time, talking the lightning stuff. We're going to get to Project Blue Book a little bit and the ball lightning. Actually, let's play some of that now. Okay, so now we saw these blue jets. Okay, and these blue jets are anomalous, rare. They are, not fully understood, okay? Which you could probably say about a lot of things in science, not fully understood, all right? Which again, don't get me wrong, I'm not crapping on science. I'm not that guy. I think it's important that they do their thing and try and find out as much as possible. I think probably my beef with the scientific community is the messaging from the press. That's probably there's a lot of things to be grumpy about, but that's one of them, right? It's always the media. It's always the media, right? How often do they say we've got a cure for cancer on deck? How often do they say we have pretty soon people are going to live forever? Like they're saying all kinds of stuff in the media, but this stuff never comes to fruition, right? Because, well, either they're hiding the technology, one, which is a possibility, of course, or they're just fibbing, and this shit is not even close to where it could be. And as a result, here we are, scratching our head. What's really going on? What's up, Madeeb says, good job, Penny. Yes, good job. Thank you. Thank you. Nice work getting, it's a lot of work, guys. It's a lot of work. You don't believe me, try it. And and then we'll have a whole powwow. But anyway, I'm not complaining. Let's go. Let's keep on trucking. All right. So with that, let's go to what this is and some of these types of lightning. Right. So we'll get back to the blue jets in a sec here. Again, like an anomalous type of lightning that's shooting up into the stratosphere that is not fully understood. All right. So like I said, got me thinking about old Project Blue Book, got me thinking about ball lightning and some of the things they described as the reasons people were seeing UFOs. Right. We've heard it all, though. We've heard mass hallucinations. You guys remember that one? The mass hallucinations that they pulled out of the deck again when there were all those drones in Colorado. Suddenly they're like, well, everybody's reporting them. Everybody's got pictures. Everybody's seeing them. But now suddenly we think it was a mass hallucination that happened multiple times over weeks and weeks. And people have photographs. You know what I mean? And this is the type of stuff that makes you go, liars, lie. Somebody out there's lying. And yeah, anyway, here we go. Let's now again, this is going to feel a little bit like the History Channel or something, but it's not. So hang tight. Here's a little bit of as we get into this, we'll see how this may have something to do with UFOs and the rest of this. Let's play these types of lightnings, and then we'll keep on trucking. What's up, Superbike? I see you there. Let's see. What else? Let's see. Oh, here we are. Hi, folks. Not sure when the show is anymore. Yeah, neither do I, to be perfectly honest. It's all blending together. 7 p.m. We've bumped it an hour earlier just to be at the same time as the Fringe FM. So that's our time slot over there for now, 7 to 9 p.m. And it's it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then Monday and Friday we have off. So we're doing the Friday show here. Like I said, I'm not sure I can keep up 5 days a week, 2 different shows. So we'll gauge that as it goes, and I'll try and keep you guys updated. I haven't decided yet. I was tired tonight. I was like, are we going to do this? God, I'm tired. But we're just soldiering through this. So we'll see. We'll see what the schedule looks like. Sorry, I'm confusing everybody. I know that there's a lot happening. This week has been crazy. And we will get this settled soon, and we'll be able to tell you exactly when things are starting. And yeah, so there we go. Just FYI. Just FYI. Okay, so let's play this. Now, this is, again, hang tight. This is going to sound a little bit like the History Channel. It is not, but actually, I guess maybe, because they talk about UFOs on the History Channel all the time, don't they? Anyway, part 1, this is the types of lightning. So not just ball lightning, but there's some other, like these elves and sprites, and then some other things. So here we go. Let's play a couple clips here, and then we'll keep on moving. Play.
Whether it's up in the sky during a thunderstorm or helping send a DeLorean back to the future, lightning is a beautiful, dangerous phenomenon. Most people picture lightning as a brilliant white strike that flashes between a cloud and the ground. But there's also lightning within clouds and between clouds. Plus, there's colored lightning and even glowing ball lightning. It's all about a buildup of electric charge and the release of that energy in a bright flash. To have a lightning strike, you first need to separate positive and negative charges within a cloud. Clouds are essentially a bunch of really small, dust-borne ice crystals and water molecules. During a storm, the air is moving around and making these particles collide. So one theory is that some negatively charged electrons from the upward moving water molecules get transferred to the downward moving heavier particles. This makes the bottom of the storm cloud more negatively charged and the top of the storm cloud more positively charged. And remember, like charges repel each other. So the electrons near the Earth's surface are repelled away, and the ground underneath the cloud is left with an overall positive charge. All this charge separation creates a strong electric field between the ground and the cloud. Basically, an electric field describes how much force and in what direction a positive charge would go if it were in the field, in this case, upward toward the cloud. And when the difference in charges builds up enough, the first stage of lightning begins. Most of the time, we see negative lightning. This is when the electric field grows strong enough that an invisible channel of negative charges, called a stepped leader, begins to branch toward the ground at about 50 meters per microsecond. Meanwhile, an upward moving channel of positive charges, called a streamer, rises up. They meet with a huge bright flash that travels up. Not to mention the heat, over 25,000 degrees Celsius, which is about 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun.
5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. Okay. Now, let's go back to this article, just so you guys can see. If you're just showing up, you're wondering what the hell's going on. Talking about this. This is on Live Science today. Upward shooting blue jet lightning spotted from International Space Station. And it got me thinking about some of the UFO stuff, some of the Project Blue Book, and how they were talking about ball lightning and some of these other things. And I was wondering if they had determined for sure 100% what this stuff meant. And, being, as we learn more and more about the atmosphere and all the rest of this, as, technology gets better, we have more satellites up there looking at these things. I was curious if the old ball lightning and things had changed, if the definitions had changed, or they had learned anything new, or, you know what I mean, that you could kind of maybe go back and apply to the old Project Blue Book cases that they kind of wrote off as ball lightning, right? So anyway, I saw this and got me thinking. Okay, well, let's talk about this tonight, because a lot of this stuff I don't know about before we do shows on it. So I literally go out and just kind of read some stuff and try and figure things out, and then put together a decent show with it. But it's taught me a ton of stuff. It's kind of that always learning situation, and it's good. It's good. Like I said, I've all the time we spent doing this, I've learned an unbelievable amount, as well as, like I always say, met an unbelievable batch of good people. So thank you guys for that as well. Made a lot of good friends here, and that's what the show's about after all anyway, right? So there we go. So that's what we're talking about, just so you know. Upward shooting blue jet lightning spotted from International Space Station. And we had a video there. I'll link the video again if you guys want to check that out. Pretty good stuff. You can see it clear as day happening here. And let me get the link real quick. There we go. All right, here we go. If you guys want to check it out, listen. What's up, Richard? I see you there. Thanks for showing up on YouTube. Here you go. Link in this, and we'll keep on trucking, keep on talking about this, and play a little bit more. So like I said, it's have things changed, right? What's up, Joey? Says the rarest color of lightning is yellow. See, I didn't know that. I had no idea. And that's what I mean, right? Kind of going through and circling back on some of these things. You know, it's been a long time since I've been in school, and things change. They learn things scientifically, and these things change. So kind of good to go back and circle anyway. Let's see. What's up? Who else are we looking for? Okay, we're good. So there's the thing. Now here's part 2 of this. Now again, these are lightning types, right? And this will lead us into, of course, UFOs and ball lightning and the rest of this. So hang tight. But we're starting here with this blue jet lightning, and spotted from the International Space Station, and it's rare, and they don't fully understand it, and they have some ideas about it. But again, what's the term? Let's read it. Let's see. However, the properties of blue jets and the altitude to which they extend above clouds are not well characterized. Right? Like I said, which is a polite way of saying, oh, we don't really know. We don't really know. But anyway, let's see. Bailey says, that person says it's moving faster than the speed of light. Yeah, the guy in that clip, right? Exactly. I mean, well, here we go. Part 2 of this, and then we'll keep on moving. 500 million. Is that like over 9,000, I think? I think maybe. Here we go, part 2, action.
Because the negatively charged electrons stream from the cloud down to the ground, it's called negative lightning. There's also the much less common positive lightning, with a net transfer of positive charge from the cloud to the ground instead. These strikes start at the top of a cloud where positive charges hang out, so they need to travel through much more air to reach the ground. So they need even more charge separation, which means the strikes can be up to 10 times stronger than negative lightning. In fact, these strikes can even break apart molecules in the atmosphere into ions, which can collide with other molecules like hydrogen and oxygen and cause photons of red light to be released. If this happens, we call them red sprites. They usually only last milliseconds and can kind of look like giant jellyfish in the sky. And if that sounds cool, there's another type of lightning called a blue jet. This lightning occurs when large amounts of positive charge stream upward in order to neutralize the charge in the cloud. The blue jets can get up to 40 kilometers high, but only last for fractions of a second. And scientists believe their blue color comes from ionized nitrogen molecules. Even weirder is ball lightning, a glowing grapefruit-sized ball of gas that lasts up to 20 seconds. But scientists aren't quite sure what causes it. One theory suggests that ball lightning is caused by ions made by a lightning strike near glass, like a window. The ions could pile up on one side of the glass and create an electric field, exciting air molecules on the other side, which would release photons and create a glow. Another theory suggests that elements in soil are to blame. In 2012, scientists in China recorded the first video of ball lightning. They monitored the light it emitted and found that it contained silicon, iron, and calcium, which are all elements found in soil. So a cloud-to-ground lightning strike might vaporize the soil's silicate compounds, which react with the surrounding atmosphere to produce a ball of light. So, the next time you're watching a thunderstorm from the warm, dry safety of your home, remember that all this lightning has a lot of physics behind it. Beautiful, dangerous physics.
Okay, now did you hear that? I'm going to play that again. So, he noted that just recently, scientists in China had finally characterized, got a better idea of what ball lightning really was. Now, and I'm going to play this again, just the end part there where he talks about that China thing. Now, think about it, right? So, in the 1960s, we had Project Blue Book, and they were kind of running around investigating all the UFO sightings and, all the ridiculous things that we were told, right? Weather balloons, mass hysteria, ball lightning, swamp gas, and the rest of this. But now, for some reason, we didn't really understand the phenomena back then of ball lightning, but we were categorizing UFOs as that, right? It almost seems like There was no answer then. Anyway, let's just that last part here. Listen real close.
Because the negatively charged exciting air molecules on the other side, which would release photons and create a glow. Another theory suggests that elements in soil are to blame. In 2012, scientists in China recorded the first video of ball lightning. They monitored the light it emitted and found that it contained silicon, iron, and calcium, which are all elements found in soil. So a cloud-to-ground lightning strike might vaporize the soil's silicate compounds, which react with the surrounding atmosphere to produce a ball of light. So, the next time you're watching a thunderstorm from the warm, dry safety of your home, remember that all this lightning has a lot of physics behind it. Beautiful, dangerous physics.
Okay, so in 2012, according to this source here, the first video was taken of actual ball lightning by Chinese scientists. And they determined what it was made of and, anyway. And then the science began. That was 2012. Like I said, if we don't understand the phenomena at all, how in the hell are we classifying UFOs as these things back in the 1960s? Doesn't make sense, does it? It kind of doesn't make sense. It seems weird to me. It seems like it was another fib, right? It seems like it was another government cover-up, which again has been kind of classified as a thing with all the rest of this and Project Blue Book and again, right, the greatest cover-up in human history, as Fox Mulder might say. And the government is doing this. They're doing these things. They're actually making this whatever they're making it, right? They're lying to us. And so if we really didn't know what ball lightning was, we didn't have any actual evidence of it existing other than like in a laboratory or something. And the first actual video taken of this was in 2012. Once again, how the hell are we classifying UFOs as ball lightning back in the 60s? Make any sense to anybody? Like I said, I'm not a scientist. I'm not that guy. You guys know. You guys already know. But if any of you understands this a little better than me, taking your calls. I'd love to be educated on this because I don't get it. I don't get it. So somebody's wrong on their dates here, or something seems a little more suspicious, right? I hate to be that guy. I hate to be that guy. Let's see. Derek says, someone told me lightning is Space Wars when it's cloudy. Maybe. Maybe. Brian, what's up? What's up? I see you there. Okay. All right. Now, do you see what I'm saying, right? So if we didn't really even know what ball lightning was till 2012, how are we writing off UFOs as ball lightning in the 60s? I think that's as pertinent a point as I'm going to put on this, because prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Anyway, so as we do this, let's listen to this. Now, this is what actually is. Actually, before we do that, let's go to this other article here real quick. Now, this is the one. This is again the different weird lightning types. If you guys want a starting point to look into this, if you're interested, you may not be. That's fine. You may just be kicking it, lighting up whatever you're lighting up and having a sip of whatever you're sipping and just kicking it. That's fine too. But if you want to look into more of this, you guys know me. I like my sources. Here's the sources, and this is where I started with this and kind of came to tonight's show. And let's see. Brian says, Mike, I know it's hard to entertain ignorance. You're a brilliant man. Thank you. That's very nice. That's very nice. Brilliant is a very big word, and so I reject that notion because brilliant's a big word. But thank you. That's very nice. Okay, now here's the thing, right? Leslie, what's up? Says ball lightning isn't reality; it's part of the dream. I see. All right. I'd love to hear from you tonight. You can explain that to me. But okay, let's do this real fast. Live Science. This is another one from Live Science, right? They link to this. Elves, sprites, and blue jets. And here's the Earth's weirdest lightning, all right? Just going to punch through this because we already heard some of this. There's ball lightning right there. Ball lightning comes in the form of fiery orbs ranging in size from a golf ball to a very large beach ball, which would be 1 to 100 centimeters. These glowing spheres can be white, yellow, red, orange, purple, or green, and can live for seconds or even minutes. And I've got some videos. We'll look at some of this, the ball lightning possibly. They look a hell of a lot like UFOs dancing around in the sky. so I don't know. Again, like I said, you tell me. Here we go. So over the centuries, there have been thousands of reported sightings of ball lightning. For example, floating into people's homes. You hear this? But its rare and unpredictable nature has greatly limited scientific understanding of it. Again, we have no idea what it really is, right? It's a shoddy hypothesis is what this is, okay? Now, you wonder, right? So now, this is the bizarre part regarding ball lightning, okay? So we were able to somehow definitively in the 60s write off UFO reports to this, but then again, but its rare and unpredictable nature has greatly limited scientific understanding of it. And, listen again, floating into people's homes. So presumably this thing can, these ball lightning phenomena can float through walls right into your house, right? Right into your damn house. And I've got a story regarding that. So we'll play that. I got some audio clips about that in a sec. But it's not a house. You won't believe what it is. But okay, so anyway, this continues. It's important because we're going to talk about ball lightning tonight. So I'll just buzz over these other ones, the dark lightning and some other stuff. But I want to just read the rest of this and then we'll keep on trucking. All right. However, scientists have recreated ball lightning or something very much like it in the lab. You see? Now, this is exactly where they get their understanding of it, right? So there's that thing called chaos theory, right? There's a ton of things happening out there that are really difficult for you to quantify and actually add to the scientific models, right? Let's say the computer models, let's say. You know what I'm talking about, wink, wink, those dastardly computer models, right? Okay, so what they understand about ball lightning is because they've created in the lab, right? And so again, we don't have an actual in nature video of ball lightning until 2012, according to that other source. You see what's happening here? There's something weird about this. Okay, it says, however, let's see, we already read that. Results suggested ball lightning was mostly the result of lightning striking the ground, vaporizing mineral grains in the soil, and a video recorded by accident of ball lightning in China supports this idea. And again, 2012 is when that happened, right? So this is again, right? Again, you see what I'm getting at. But here's just a few more things. I linked this. Did I link this already? I did. So dark lightning's another one. We're going to just buzz over that because that's not really in the purview tonight. Positive lightning. We have sprites. There's elves, which kind of like blue jets, but a little bit different. Like there's the blue jets there. There's the blue starters. So there's a ton of different lightning. Gigantic jets, right? There's a ton of stuff here. And so I think you could probably do like an entire huge, just long show on all these different types and maybe talking about what they should be, right? Or whatever they might be or whatever science thinks they are. And, it is what it is, right? Like if you can't get it happening in nature, and get a sample of it, you have to kind of recreate those conditions and do it in a laboratory. And so again, I'm not knocking that, but I am saying that if we don't really understand naturally these things as they do happen in nature, then it is difficult for me to buy the fact that Project Blue Book and those guys, the government back in the 60s, were able to just write off UFOs, to a lot of them, to this phenomena. It seems ridiculous. What's up? Robert says you just have to accept. We were and are lied to all the time by Big Brother, and I think you're right. And that's again kind of what I'm talking about here, and kind of what I'm getting at. Weird how it starts with an article on Live Science about some weird ass lightning, and then we can bend it into UFOs, right? Williams says this, but ball lightning doesn't move intelligently in the sky. I'm going to play a video. You got. Hold on. I'll play it as we get into this ball lightning stuff. So I've got a video supposedly of ball lightning, and it, like I said, it looks a hell of a lot like a UFO. So, like, yeah. What's up, Is2? I see you there. Thanks for showing up. Joe says plasma. And that's another one too. That's another interesting take, right? You guys all know my if you've been listening a while, my take on plasma UFOs and radar spoofing and that whole thing, right? So anyway, as we're talking about this, we're doing our thing, just talking UFOs tonight, talking these weird lightning phenomena that science clearly doesn't fully understand. But somehow, if you trace this back to Project Blue Book in the 60s with J. Allen Hynek and Quintanilla and some of these guys that worked in the Project Blue Book, they were very, very ball lightning happy. Even though, describing all the UFOs, or many, not all, I think that's a bad characterization, but many times they were, again, weather balloons, ball lightning, swamp gas. We'll get to some of those things as well. All right, so anyway, elves, sprites, and blue jets, Earth's weirdest lightning. What do you guys think? Plasma. I actually was, oddly enough, I was just kind of in passing today, just had some TV on for the noise. I don't really watch TV too much, just once in a while. But there was a little clip of Michio Kaku, which we had on the show last night as a clip, talking about what I can't remember what the show was last night. See, it's all blending together, guys. But so the I saw him talking today about lightning, actually, in a particular show. And it was not related to this at all. Like, I came on this article a little bit later and was like, oh, okay, interesting. But he was saying that creating antimatter you need to do with a particle collider, right? You need to be able to. We're able to create tiny amounts of antimatter. But he was also saying that in nature they've detected that lightning strikes in and of themselves can actually create antimatter as well. So kind of unrelated here, in tiny amounts. So even though we need this huge particle collider, something like CERN, and miles and miles of this thing and whatever it is, right, to do it, nature is able to do it just in its natural process, which again, a little bit creepy, right? A little bit interesting. Hard to understand for me, but yeah. Let's see. Looks like a Merkaba. What's that, Bailey? I have no idea what that is. But okay, but anyway, back to this. So taking your calls up tonight, as always, guys, you know what's up. 702-957-1037. Just sipping a beer here Friday night, doing this, talking about lightning and ball lightning and these weird elves, sprites, blue jets, the things that are in the sky that used to be definitive, right? It was definitively not UFOs because of all these other things. And now we come to find out, at least I do, all these other things they really don't know a ton about. So, yeah, there's that. One more time, 702-957-1037. Do you think we're being lied to? I guess that's one of the questions tonight. Do you think we're being lied to? Click the Discord link. Troubledminds.org is the official website, and yeah, you can be on the show either way. Okay, so now let's get to this. Now, ball lightning in and of itself. We played the first part there, that Chinese thing where they found it, and it was whatever it was, right? It was for the first time in 2012, they actually were able to get a video of this, all right, and then determine what it was made of. All right, interesting, right? Did you guys know that? I didn't. So that's kind of why it's good to look into these things, right? Because it changes. I wasn't in school in 2012. I'm a little older than that. So as these the information develops, it's good to kind of go revisit some of these things that you thought you knew and turn it into maybe a little bit of learning, a little bit of a session like this. And it's never hurts to throw in UFOs, in my opinion. So that's what we're doing tonight. We got a phone call coming in. We'll take that in just a sec. But that's what we're talking about tonight. These blue jets, these elves, sprites, weird lightning phenomena, and Project Blue Book, and are we being lied to? I guess that's the question, right? I think that's the question. Let's see. Bailey says, I think I videoed one of these last year with my P1000. That's a Sony camera, right? I know that because Mrs. Strange has one. P1000. Yeah. So if you can, actually, Bailey, can you upload that to YouTube if you can find it, and then we can play it on the show if that's okay. But okay, here we go. We're going to go to this and go to this phone call. And I know exactly who this is because you said so in chat. Leslie, you are on Troubled Minds with Mike. How you doing tonight?
Hi, Mike. Second time caller.
All right. Welcome back.
Thank you. I'm not a virgin anymore.
Right on. That means we're just getting going. So what's on the mind tonight? What do you think about all this lightning stuff I'm talking about?
Well, you gotta be able to see beyond visible light to know, right? So,
Correct.
I've seen that this is like a hologram, and it's run like a computer simulation, sort of, but we're real inside there, inside the carbon forms. And outside. But the UFOs and like all the stuff that we observe, I mean, even our sky isn't real. It's like, it's a hologram. Those guys don't like that word.
Yeah, right? That's not the only word they don't like, but yeah, definitely. Here's linking it, guys, the video from Bailey. Thank you, Bailey, for sharing that. This is a video Bailey took on the P1000 camera, and Bailey thinks this is possibly a ball lightning caught on video. So anyway, sorry to interrupt you, Leslie. Go right ahead. So you're saying that the visible light spectrum is what it is, and so a lot of the things that we see and don't see are part of the holographic world. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the only things that this carbon form body was designed to do is through the eyes, like in a low awareness state. So, but our pineal glands, the third eye, the whole setup there, we were like downgraded to be, so we don't have like a lot of ability, but they couldn't, we have to have like, somewhere middle ground of polarity scale. We're barely functioning.
I'm with you. Wait. So as people, we're barely functioning?
Yeah, as beings, because what I see all around me is these beings, but they're kind of like, they're cartoonish looking. But I'm like, it's got to be my eyes, seeing through my eyes. But then when I see them with my third eye, they look like we look to each other. It's weird.
Okay, I see. So they're all around us, though, is what you're saying? All around us all the time?
Well, yeah, there's only a thin veil of light on both sides of the spectrum. These guys, this dark realm, okay, I had to look at the sky, the real sky, and it is just like a dim red, but everything's mostly just dark, and I could only see like shapes of like what would be kind of like trees, but they're not. I don't know what they were. And then like shadow figures moving around. And it was very dim looking. But yes, so we're like a TV without tubes, and or like we're in their light matrix that they designed. It's pretty involved.
Okay, so who are these entities then? Are these aliens? Or these dimensional people?
Well,
what's going on with this?
We are in their space that they created. It's a soul trap, and everything that we've been told, we've been lied to. We're not actually even human beings, actually, because we, with our soul and our psychic abilities, and well, see, we used to be 12-stranded DNA, and these bodies are a downgrade. Now, the reason why is because they had to rewire us to create their food. See, because we are love itself as energy, light beings, that's high energy. They cannot go to where we are from. So they had to bring us to them with deception.
Okay, I've heard this before. I've heard this one before. So we are talking about the archons, or we're talking about that soul trap. This is hey Bailey, this is right down John's wheelhouse here from the Best Damn Podcast, eh? Yeah, this is the type of stuff that they're talking about over there. But okay, so you're saying that we're not even human. There's some sort of illusion going on with our world, and we're being tricked into doing things that are not love, right? Even though our entity, our being, is the opposite of that. So they're trying to deceive us in some way, right?
That's not all. They are energy eaters to my best understanding. They're kind of like, they appear to be hive mind, like an kind of like AI, because they do have technology. They have lots of technology, but there are beings within this faction of negative polarity. They're translucent to the camera, and the human eyes can't see, but mine have like merged with my third eye, kind of like. And I saw it as a dark beam. I saw through, and I could see that it was like a kind of doggish looking. There was one. And there was one that was in the shape of like Casper. If you took all the color off of a Casper and couldn't see no description of, just the inside, it'd be like a silhouette. I saw like that, like rounded head and a shoulder. I did take a picture, and I was able to adjust things so you can kind of see what I saw.
Okay. All right. Sweet. If you could send those over at some point, that would be amazing.
They come right out from their bodies. And I met some gargoyles on ground. They have holographic skin. And they projected a lizard head. And they flashed lights. Orange, flashing first, and then turned to orange and red, flashing. And I was like, I'm here. There was like 20 of them.
Okay. All right. I'm with you. That's crazy. All right. So all right.
It's in a upscale area here in Michigan, where I saw like a whole bunch of them. There's a gated community just over the wall, but the wall and the ground meet sort of, so they could just easily hop over there and huddle together and have a meeting, because they didn't want to be detected. But there I was, standing 5 feet away from them, and I'm looking at them. They're like, I'm awake, aren't I? And I saw them.
So even you didn't believe.
They project emotions at you, like fear and anger, whatever they want, the lower ones, they'll project it at you to try and scare you, get you in fear, because that will feed them.
I see. Okay. Interesting. So have you had experience actually contacting these entities, or are they just kind of, you see them and you can't really make contact? How's that work?
Well, I started to hear some clicking, but that was about 3 months after I heard my higher selves. But I didn't really know what the tones were. So both of them, you've got your positives, which are multiple personalities of ourselves. I told you guys last night. And the negatives do these clicks. But I know they implanted my ears on both sides because they did surgery on me too, and they put compartments in me. They've done a lot of things to me, and they were talking to me, and they were telling me to do stuff, and I didn't know who the hell they were. And so I was like, somebody had told me on Facebook that they were angels, and I was like, angels aren't real. And then I was like, wait a minute, are they real? I started to have some self-doubts, and I'm like...
Hold on, though. So, wait, but don't the definitions of these things get really sticky? Because as people, we've tried to define them in terms of maybe angels or demons or aliens or this or that. But personally, I think it's probably greater than those things, because the things as a human definition goes, we'll only try and define things by how we understand. And so there's a ton of things out there that we have no clue of understanding. And so, of course, kind of like you would say back in, 2,000 years ago, they're making up, things for dinosaur bones, right? That clearly, today we can kind of go through some of that and quantify it and scientifically and whatever anyway. But they were saying let's say they found the middle part of a dinosaur bone, and they thought it was a cyclops, for instance, right? So things like this, maybe that was not a bad example, but you get what I'm saying. We try and see these things as humans. We try and give them a label somehow, even though we don't fully understand what they may be. That's kind of my point.
Well, I know what they are because, okay, this is very... They were also very deceptive and negative. Like hate is supposedly the lowest feeling, but I tend to agree because it's also like nefarious hate would be like a deeper, and that's, as an empath in a higher state of awareness, that matters for everybody. Everybody's at all different levels of awareness. There are people that are running around with diapers on their face, and I get from them that they're just not very aware.
Yeah, okay, I got you.
And so, what was I saying?
You're saying a lot of things. You were saying a lot of things that are blowing a lot of people's minds, is what you're saying. Okay, all right. Now, this is the thing, right? Like I said, we're going to continue this conversation, okay? There's apparently there's way too much here to get in one sitting, so we're going to move on right now, okay? But I am loving what you're saying, and I want to hear more of this. You promise to keep calling back? I think the things you're talking about are important, and I think people need to hear them. Can you call back another time?
That's why I'm here, because I am the Dark Matrix Soul Trap Liberator. This is not my first rodeo show. This is what I do.
Okay, fantastic. I'd love to hear more about it. Do you have a website or something, or a YouTube channel? Are you able to share that with us?
YouTube channel, Penny's got the link. Okay. And might be more than Penny that does.
Okay, let's spread that information out, because I think this is good stuff. I think this is things we need to talk about, because again, there's a lot here that can't really be quantified, and that's what we're doing here. You're in the right spot. Leslie from Michigan, I appreciate the call. Thanks for all the great information, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. Okay.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Thank you. Pleasure is ours. Thanks again. Thank you for the call. There you go. As simple as that, guys. What a great call. Thank you, Penny, for setting this up here, Leslie, and this show, and a lot of good information there. But think about that. In terms of what she's saying, that there's a lot of things going on that are just not able to be picked up by people. All right? And so she's saying that other people have the ability to detect these things, right? And you can kind of go back in time and maybe say like something like auras, right? Like some people can see auras on other people. That's a show we got to do and talk about auras, right? But then there's other things, right, where just like I was saying, angels and demons. It seems to be like an easy explanation for things that may be beyond that, and I'm not saying, of course, angels and demons in the biblical sense. I mean, like, monsters, like I was saying in that last show there, the golem, the homunculi, the elementals, the nature spirits, like these types of things, like, do they exist out there? And if they do, right, how come some people know they're there? Like the genie, the jinn, there's a ton of information, a ton of things that, is it real? Is it not? Have we misclassified this or that or the other? So anyway, you get the idea. That's what we're here talking about. If you guys want to be part of the show, just like Leslie, you can call on, dial his phone number, 702-957-1037. We'll put you on the show. You can join the Discord as well. Go to troubledminds.org, and there you go. Simple as that. Simple as that. Thank you again for the call, Leslie. Good stuff. Like I said, I look forward to hearing more. Definitely good things here. And yeah, the chat's going. Chat's like, Philip, what's up? I see there, buddy. Philip's like, what the hell did I just show up for? Yeah, exactly. A lot of interesting things is what you showed up for. So we're actually talking about lightning tonight. You wouldn't believe that, but we're talking about lightning, ball lightning, and that explanation from the past of the Project Blue Book and how they kind of wrote UFOs off as these other natural phenomena, right? And so that's how we got started here. And then Leslie just called in and was telling us about some of the imperceptible things that are happening that humans cannot detect, that most humans cannot detect. So anyway, definitely good stuff. Thank you, Leslie. Very good stuff. Thank you. That's actually, let's put this up real fast. Let me make sure we get this. Let's do this. Let's click this, and I'm going to share Leslie's YouTube channel as well. So let's do that. Thank you, Penny, for finding that and linking that. If anybody wants to get more information from Leslie there, here is her YouTube channel. Bam, bam. Thank you, guys. All right, let's read some chat. And let's keep on rolling here. Okay, let's see. Did that go? Yeah, there we go. Okay, all right. Everybody's got Leslie's YouTube channel. All right, here we go. Let's see. Let's go back to the chat here. Joey, ball lightning, glitch in the Matrix. Maybe, right? Maybe. I think, again, the nature of reality, right? That's part of why we're here, why we're talking about these things. Again, if you guys are just joining us, by the way, this is Bailey's video on the screen about possibly ball lightning, some sort of an anomalous sphere in the sky. Who knows what this is? I don't know. Like, again, I'm not a scientist. I'm not an astronomer. I'm a dreamer. Guys. I'm one of those, not that dreamer. The other dream. I'm the other kind of dreamer. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, here we go. John says this, and this is a great comment. While there are definitely camera lenses that were made illegal back in the 60s that picked up UV spectrum light that we are incapable of seeing with our eyes. And that just makes you question why the government would make a camera lens illegal. And see, I didn't know that. I did not know that. So again, if anybody's got a link for that, please drop it in. I'll put it up. And again, this is the type of thing that interestingly, in modern times, right, that whole Nimitz incident and the FLIR cameras with the infrared and how they're picking these things up in the sky that are not visible to the naked eye, but they're picking them up in that infrared spectrum, right? So then you're saying that the UV spectrum was made illegal as well, right? The ultraviolet. Interesting, curious, and I wonder. I absolutely wonder. William says, I can't see the W, so I can't do the W. William says the video looks like one of those footage of stars and planets taken by amateur astronomers. Maybe the one we're looking at from Bailey. Maybe again, I don't know exactly what this is. Bailey, were you able to check this out and find out what this may have been? This thing. Did it match up with Venus or ball lightning? As the case may be. Derek says fluoride in the water solidifies the pineal gland, so we are dumbed down. And I've heard that before, and we should probably do a show on that at some point as well. I think we did back in the Frank days. I think that's what made Frank rage quit. I think he was so mad. Actually, he wasn't mad. I think he got abducted by the Men in Black, and they reprogrammed him and then put him back. I think that's what happened. Anyway, I'm just kidding. Let's see. What else do we got? William, hats off to Mike. You're a professional host. Thank you. That's nice. Joe says, maybe someone opened the Ark of the Covenant. Wasn't it stolen in Ethiopia? Was that? Is that new? I've heard that twice now. Is that, I haven't looked into it. Was the Ark of the Covenant stolen from Ethiopia or stolen to Ethiopia? What do you mean? Looking to hear from you guys, putting the phone number up, going to read some chat, just catch up here and do our thing. We're going to do our thing here. Keep on trucking. Keep on talking about the weird stuff in the world. John says, I wish I understood the physics of ionizing elements to produce photons. Yeah, you and me both, brother. Let's see, what else? There's Leslie's channel if you guys want to check it out. John says, because photons don't have mass, so there's no mass loss, but I do understand where they come from. But hold on, if there's no mass, then they haven't achieved their mass yet with the Higgs field. Is that how that works? Or does that not work on the quantum mechanic level? I'm not sure. I understand some of it, just some of it's, again, a little bit over my head. What's up? Derek says that looks like a gas giant, the video we're looking at. Kelly says, what's up, Kelly? Says, I've taped something just like that, but the one I seen was during the day. Really? Actually, during the day. What's up, Mateo? Says swamp gas. Yeah, exactly. We're going to get the swamp gas tonight, actually. All right. So that's the deal. That's what we're talking about tonight. We're wondering about, as always, the nature of our reality, right? I think no matter how you slice it, if even if you want to call me the UFO guy and, whatever, like you want to make fun of me and say these things and all the other things, it doesn't matter because there's a larger philosophy at play here. There's a larger world view that I think that is really what we're getting at. Getting at the nature of what our perceived reality is versus the nature of our actual reality. So, I mean, that's a really large conversation, and it's been going on for a very long time. So, however you want to malign me or call me names, I know none of you guys do because you guys here appreciate the things we're talking about. But there's going to be some haters. They come and go, whatever. But this is actual philosophy, and like I said, maybe dime store philosophy, but still, it is. Thank you, Bailey, for the actual. A video here of this. I'm not exactly sure what this is, but it definitely looks like a something. Is that maybe ball lightning? Is that a star? What's going on with that? I really couldn't tell you. And I'm going to link this again if you guys want to check this out, and you can do that. This is on Bailey's channel, and there we go. Let's drop this in there. That's that video that we were just looping. If you guys want to check it out. All right, so we're about halfway through here, so we're going to take a quick break in just a sec after I link this, and we're just doing our thing, right? We're just kicking it. We're talking about all the things we always do: aliens, conspiracy, the paranormal, and everything in between. So, what's up? A UFO Jesus, says John, and Joey says Space Jesus. Space Jesus. I always make fun of the UFO Jesus because it's that guy, Post Disclosure World. He's got the UFO Jesus on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? That guy. Yeah, I think it's a funny name. So the guy's decent. I've interacted with him on Twitter and stuff. He seems like a decent fellow, but I just think the name UFO Jesus is funny. So anyway, let's see. Joey says, unfortunately, I have an anterovenous malformation in my pineal gland, so I don't see the ghost and aliens and ethereal creatures. Is that true? Is that really a thing? I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, if you guys want to talk about that and you want to fill me in and educate me on these things, I'd love to hear it. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link, troubledminds.org, and that's what's up. So we're here talking about, of course, ball lightning. We're talking about UFOs, Project Blue Book, the cover-up, right? How science and the government kind of maybe they make a bad guess on things sometimes because it's better to make a bad guess than not guess at all. Because if you don't, then you're not addressing it, and you have to admit more times than not that we have no idea what the hell's really going on. And so that's what's up. All right, let's take a quick break. I'm going to go grab a taco or something, and I will be right back. Let's take a little, let's see, what are we going to do? Couple minute break here. Yeah, let's go just a little bit longer than a couple minute break because I got to get a quick bite. We're just kicking it, talking aliens, conspiracy, the paranormal. We're talking ball lightning tonight. We're talking Project Blue Book. We're talking about the swamp gas. We're going to get the swamp gas. Hang tight. Go top off your drink, grab a beer, do whatever you're going to do, tuck the kids in, whatever it is. Couple 3 minutes, we will be right back. Hang tight. You're listening to Troubled Minds. This is Michael Strange, and I'm me and you're you, and we're talking about amazing stuff. Be right back. love that music. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're talking about all the things we love to talk about. Aliens, conspiracy, the paranormal, you name it. Everything is kind of in our purview because we talk about consciousness. We talk about the nature of reality. We talk about how we live in the upside down, and the things that we perceive aren't really necessarily the reality of the world. And we do it live to include you, 702-957-1037 if you want to be part of the show. One more time, that's 702-957-1037. You can find the phone number and the Discord link. You can join the show with Discord at troubledminds.org. That's the official website. And we're just kicking it. So we got to ball lightning now. Now let's do this. What's up, Grumpy Dad? I see you there. Let's see. Thank you again for the call, Leslie. Fantastic information. Looking forward to hearing more from you in the future here. A lot of good stuff coming from folks that listen to this show. Let's see. What else do we got? Who else? Joey, beverage time. Beverage time. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right. Here we go. Now, this is crazy. Remember when I mentioned that ball lightning has been known to come into somebody's house and things like this, right? Like this actually happens. All right. Now, check this out. Now, this is a story. This is a little bit, just a smidge long, but listen to this and how some of this ball lightning phenomena is, like, I don't know, beyond explanation. And again, right, it's bizarre to me that now that I've actually dug into the ball lightning a little bit, I'm confused as hell that this is a thing that happens and we barely understand it, and somehow we're able to label these things as... what are we labeling them as? UFOs, right? There's no little green men or spirit orbs or any of the rest of this stuff. It's all basically based on what's it based on? What the government tells us is based on, right? You see the problem there? That's the problem there. Here we go. Listen to this ball lightning story. There's some amazing stuff here. All right. Part 1, ball lightning. We're talking about how Project Blue Book kind of was able to easily write off a ton of UFO cases by describing them as ball lightning. Come to find out, we didn't actually get an actual video of ball lightning confirmed until 2012 in China. So, okay, right? We got a nice paradox there, in my opinion. So here we go. Now listen to some of this stuff that ball lightning is capable of doing. Here we go, part 1.
March 19th, 1963. Eastern Airlines Flight EA-539 from New York to Washington. 5 minutes past midnight, the plane encounters a storm. There's a loud bang and a bright flash. Seconds later, a glowing ball emerges from the pilot's cabin. The blue-white ball hovers above the aisle and floats slowly toward the rear of the plane. It reaches the back of the plane and vanishes. Remarkably, the plane continues unharmed. But this wasn't fantasy. This was fact, and it wasn't the first account of its kind. In World War II, pilots reported strange balls of light that seemed to follow their planes. U.S. pilots named them Foo Fighters. For thousands of years, people have claimed to encounter fiery spheres as ghosts, messages from the gods, or UFOs. But there was something different about the Eastern Airlines account. The eyewitness wasn't an adrenaline-fueled fighter pilot or a medieval mystic. He was a scientist, a professor at a prestigious British university. Suddenly, scientists sat up and took notice.
Did you catch that? So they're on this flight, and just through the cockpit, there appears this ball of light that just kind of floats out in the middle of the plane. And this is ball lightning, guys. Think about this. Now we have this phenomena that is not really well understood, and this scientist is sitting there on this plane, and this thing just floats through the cockpit right there on the plane for everybody to see, right? So, of course, it begins his journey trying to understand what the hell just happened. Here we go. Part 2, same story action.
One scientist who's been inspired by his own close encounter is nuclear physicist Dr. Graham Hubler.
I have seen ball lightning myself, so I know that it exists.
A teenage Hubler is on a date in a park in upstate New York. A storm breaks out. The couple takes shelter in a bandstand.
And suddenly, off to our left, we're sitting there with open sides on the left and the front. Off to the left, we saw this ball approaching, ball of light. And, of course, we were terrified. What the heck was this? We didn't know what it was.
Slowly, the ball approaches.
It was about 30 yards away and coming slowly at us, just kind of drifting, ambling along, drifting along. And we're looking at this thing and we were both just paralyzed, actually.
To their horror, it enters the bandstand and rolls across the floor, past the couple's feet with a strange sound.
The sound it was making was like a freshly struck match.
At the other side of the bandstand, the ball leaps back up and travels out of the open side.
And it jumped right back up to about 6 feet off the ground and went out another 20, 30 feet out into the night, and then very quickly dropped to the ground and extinguished without a noise.
All right, you guys following this? So we have eyewitness accounts of people that actually saw these ball lightning, the ball lightning phenomena happening right in front of them. One actually floated right through an airplane in flight somehow, through the cockpit, and was just kind of kicking it inside the airplane before it actually started to fade away and disappeared, right? Now, what does that sound like to you? Does that sound like some sort of electromagnetic anomaly that wouldn't affect the plane whatsoever? That, you know, people wouldn't be feeling static electricity or any of this stuff? Like, there's a lot here that I'm having a hard time believing, right? That maybe these the ball lightning phenomena has been maybe concocted to explain these other things, right? That now maybe science is catching up to the other aspect of this. It's impossible to say, right? It's definitely impossible to say, but one sec, please. All right, Mrs. Strange brought me a taco, so thank you, Mrs. Strange. I'm like I said, I didn't get a chance to eat dinner. We're doing this dinnerless, but we still got the beer, so you guys don't worry. But anyway, all right. So it kind of makes me wonder, right? Given that you end up with what would it be? A UFO, right? Like an actual UFO. And so we're able to somehow, again, all the way till 2012 before we get a confirmed case on video of this phenomenon known as ball lightning. All right, right? You're starting to see some plot holes here. Is anybody starting to go, wait a minute? Like what is, I am, like, again, right? It started with that one article we began with, I'll link it in a sec, of that those blue jets shooting up into the atmosphere, all right, into the stratosphere. And suddenly it goes to ball lightning, and I look into ball lightning and come to find out this isn't as well known as they made it out to be. If you're going to explain things away with something, maybe explain things away with something you understand a little better than this. I don't know. Just saying. Anyway, let's go to part 3. We're talking about Project Blue Book. We're talking about ball lightning tonight. We're talking about how is this part of that cover-up? Is this part of the again, back to the Fox Mulder thing, the largest cover-up in the history of humanity, where the governments know about these things, know about the presence of extraterrestrials, but they're trying to explain them away as something else. And in this case, ball lightning, part 3.
The experience leaves Hubler with a lifelong fascination with ball lightning. He collects thousands of eyewitness accounts. There's multiple ball lightning, balls that fell from the sky, that exploded, hissed, spun, hovered, jumped. It's even been seen to pass through solid objects without leaving a trace.
There is no good theory that exists that explains the features of ball lightning. Different theories can explain one or two of the features of ball lightning, but none really do a very good job of explaining it all.
One man who's examined all the evidence, investigated all the theories, is physicist Mark Stenhoff.
There are probably almost as many theories of ball lightning as there have been scientists investigating it.
But there is one thing almost everyone agrees on. Ball lightning is probably plasma. Plasma is the commonest form of matter in the universe. The sun, fire, lightning, and the space between the stars are all plasma. It's not hard to make plasma. run a current through a gas, and it will spontaneously emit light. But explaining how a fiery ball can materialize out of thin air has confounded scientists for centuries.
Confounded scientists for centuries. And yet, I don't know what percentage of UFOs in the 60s through Project Blue Book were written off as ball lightning, but it was enough that it became a running joke, just like swamp gas, just like weather balloons, just like mass hallucinations, right? Just like Venus in the night sky, just like the same things that, the old UFO tropes of explaining away things that they couldn't explain anyway, right? And that's science, right? In this case, and of course, unfortunately, I'm not trying to shit on science, okay? So again, everybody relax. It's not that. It's that the government was involved in this case, all right? The government was involved in this cover-up. And so this ball lightning phenomena, again, floating through the plane, some good comments I'm going to read here in a sec. Let's see. William says this. If it was indeed ball lightning, wouldn't they be shocked to death already, considering the intense energy science described it has? And that's a good question. Let's say another good one that came to my mind is, wouldn't it affect the electronics of the plane and maybe cause issues? If this thing just floated through the cockpit as they're on this thing, right? Like there's a lot of really weirdness to this that you would call this high strangeness. Okay, and which you could actually ascribe to a ghost or an actual UFO, right? There's some weird stuff here. Now, again, so how the hell do we know nothing about ball lightning, basically? Didn't have an actual confirmed video of it till 2012. And then somehow we're just explaining things away with it en masse because, well, I don't know, because the government told us to? Not me or us, but J. Allen Hynek. Right? A very well-respected scientist. Back to Project Blue Book. You see what's going on here. So you wonder, right? I think in a cursory manner, I'm glad that I saw that lightning article and it led us down this path, because I didn't know anything about ball lightning, right? I knew it was a thing that existed, and that's kind of it. I knew it was ridiculous to claim that a bunch of UFOs were ball lightning. But now, looking into the phenomena a little bit more, which they call ball lightning, it's the forehead smack. Like, wait a damn minute here. You mean so we can barely make this stuff in a lab setting, and then we don't even know if what we're seeing in the lab is what we're seeing in the wild, so to speak, and then we're somehow describing this as the UFO thing. You see? There's something wrong here, is there not? Is there not? Some other good comments here. I'm going to read some comments. Let's see. Joe says, what's up, Joe from Florida? Plasma? But even still, that would probably blast a plane. Exactly. There's another one. So not only might it mess up the electronics if it was actually lightning in some form, it would maybe, it doesn't float through solid matter, does it? We got another problem here, don't we? Imagine, so if you had an actual lightning strike made of that either plasma or the actual traditional lightning, you hit something with it, and that thing's smoking. It's cooked, right? Yeah, really bad stuff. So Joe adds, if it does not leave a trace, that glitch in the matrix like a power surge in the program. And it could be, right? It could be. Definitely crazy stuff. Philip, what's up, says, they call it ball lightning. I call it plasma. Beings sounds legit to me, right? Well, again, if we don't know what it is, I think all those things got to be on the table, right? And we've talked about, interdimensional aliens and, the DMT experience where you kind of cross over into a weird intermediary space between here and there, whatever it is, and you're able to communicate with these individuals that are, like actually Leslie was describing, here with us all the time, but people cannot perceive them. And so in many cases, some people can, most people cannot. And so again, right, I think that in itself is again a worthy, as worthy as describing away UFOs as ball lightning. It seems ridiculous to me. But yeah, so anyway, we're doing this live, talking about this. Going to play the rest of this story about ball lightning in just a sec here. But you get it, right? You get what's going on. It seems like I think the more you dig deep into this and start coming up with details, they don't match details from the past. And the past I'm talking about is that Project Blue Book and how they wrote things off for no apparent reason based on things we didn't even understand at the time, which were scientifically called ball lightning. But what the hell is that, and what does it mean? So anyway, as we talk about this, what do you guys think this is? This ball lightning stuff? Do you think it is interdimensional somethings? Let's see. what do you think it is? That's the question here. Leslie says there's silicone beings too. I believe all that. I mean, like to think aliens or whatever are made in our image seems silly. But anyway, if you want to be part of the show, I want to hear from you. I'm trying to chow down a couple tacos here. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link and sipping some beer, hanging, talking aliens with my favorite people. And that's what's going on tonight. And not only that, some ball lightning, right? Is this the greatest cover-up in human history? It started in the 40s, 1947 with Roswell. Yeah. Also, by the way, remember last night, or the Bigelow show? You guys listened to the Robert Bigelow show? Did you hear what he said in that interview with George Knapp? He straight up said that they had determined there were crashes, alien crashes, that had occurred, that they verified to his satisfaction, and abduction phenomena. All right? And again, back to him real fast. Let me tangent for a sec. The thing, we were kind of on the radio clock there, so it took me couldn't really go too deep into that. But the thing that takes me aback about that is that why has he not come forward with this information? Like I said, the thing that pisses me off the most about Bigelow is, right, so now he's offering a reward for that immortality bid, right? Because now he's 75 years old and he needs something. But he had access to all this information about Skinwalker, about UFOs, about maybe ball lightning and the things we're actually talking about right now. And he had this for a long time, and he hasn't been transparent with it, right? That leaves a bad taste in my mouth. It really does. So, yeah. Anyway, just a quick digression back to that, to circle back to that. It seems I don't know, classless. It seems what's he hiding? You know what I mean? Like what's he going to do? Find the secrets of the universe and then become like a, Dr. Doom or something? It just doesn't make sense. Like, isn't that something if you were literally finding and looking into what the scientific basis of ghosts and aliens and this stuff were, and you had real data to share, why wouldn't you share it? That's unbelievable to me. Anyway, a lot of good chat here. Let's read some of this. Let's see. What else do we got? Bailey says, why not? Electricity does. Does what? What do you mean? Looking to hear from you guys. 702-957-1037. Leslie says, I met the Curious Bunny on Seven Spalding's channel. I don't know who that is. Let's see. Philip says, back in the early 40s and 50s, scientists discovered high up in our atmosphere biological creatures. They referred to them as blobs. Look how germs and organisms look under a microscope. I feel that. Yeah, we did talk about that way back in the day. Those weird blobs or snakes or something in the sky that guy was saying he was seeing up there. Let's see. Leslie says a lot of the dark polarity beings have ammonia clouds. Interesting, ammonia. Philip says is what these are, just bioluminescent ones. It could be, right? Let's see. What else we got? Good stuff. Yeah, Bailey says he's a businessman. He isn't telling you shit for free. And that's true, right? Bob Bigelow. But I mean, again, right? Like, this dude wants to pay for the secrets of immortality, but he's got a database of a whole bunch of stuff that he's not giving up. It's ridiculous. Confirmed cases. He's got, like you said, explained to his satisfaction that crashes actually happened and crash retrievals happened and alien abductions happened, and he's not giving up the details. It makes me a little bit a little angry with that man. Let's see, what else do we got? Good comments here. Joey says today it's UFO. Back in the medieval times they called it Will o' the Wisp, and that's true. And so that's actually known as swamp gas. They determined that one to be. So we'll get to that at some point as well tonight. We're going to get to swamp gas in a little bit. Joe says maybe Tesla realized this and wanted the wireless transmission of energy, and that's a good one too. I think we should probably do a whole Tesla bit there, because we talk about him sometimes, but not directly in some of the amazing things that Tesla did in his life. But anyway, so good stuff. Let's see. I don't know. Truth Seeker Bob. Who's that? I have no idea who that is. Anyway, if you want to be a part of the show, we're talking aliens. We're talking swamp gas. Not quite yet, but we're talking ball lightning. We're going to get to swamp gas in a little bit here. And we're talking about these amazing stories of ball lightning floating through solid walls, right? Floating through an airplane in flight and not actually behaving as you would expect quote, lightning to behave. So is that just a bad term and it's something else? Ball lightning seems like a concocted term to put people at ease, if you ask me, because even now we still don't know what the hell this thing is. So explaining things away in the 60s with something we don't know what it is. So we're basically taking one thing that we don't know what it is, and then we're giving this other thing a fancy scientific term, and we're telling people it is this other thing that we also do not understand it entirely. You see? And they say there's not a cover-up. It's not a cover-up. All right, let's go. Let's keep on trucking here. If you want to be part of the show, 702-957-1037. One more time. I talk too fast, so I'm gonna do this real slow. 702-957-1037. You understand? Click the Discord link, troubleminds.org, 702-957-1037. Let's do this. Let's keep on trucking. Now, this is the stuff about ball lightning. Part 4 to this story. Again, it's floating through wherever it's floating through, right? Wherever it's floating through. Actually, we got a phone call. Let's take this phone call, and then we'll keep on with the story after this. Let's see. Leslie says, China Miss Jones channel. She has a clouds video with a manifested gray that looks like the Casper fellow. Interesting, really. All right. Again, definitely good stuff. I'll have to go check it out. It's all fake, though. Okay. Yeah, that's what I mean, right? That's the thing that pisses me off the most, too, about YouTube is so much fake stuff. Like, there's entire channels that have, like, just blown up, like, let's say, I don't know, what's his name? Third Phase of Moon. And guys like, what's Tyler from, what was the thing? What was the thing called? It's like gone now. Like, they've ran him off. But Tyler from, no. I can't remember the name. Anyway, we'll get to that in a sec. Less important than this, because the show can now finally start. Joe from Florida is on the phone. How you doing, buddy? How are you tonight?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Wasn't going to call in, but just bending my brain a little bit with flash of lightning and trying to figure, anything that sticks to the wall that you throw. And sounds like everybody's making a good attempt at it. But I was looking up and I'm not talking about the plasma balls or the ball lightning, but the particular flash of lightning in itself, that occurred in the last few days, that apparently was over an island in the Pacific. And, I'm just thinking, if it was coming from the ocean floor, let's say there was methane gas or some kind of gas that was being released, and there was some lightning going on in the area, who knows if that wasn't something that was ignited? There's a theory about the Bermuda Triangle, that gas bubbles come up from underneath the ocean floor, they displace the water, and the boats sink, and the planes could lose lift. There was a town, I think, in Ethiopia, I forget where it was, but you can look it up, where the whole town suffocated because there was a gas release, and that bubble of gas went over the town and everybody suffocated. Not to mention we're floating around the planet with an iron core, at least we think, and the plates move and the plates create friction. I'd be curious to see if a huge earthquake shows up in the Pacific in the next few days. I mean, don't they see flashes like this before there's an earthquake?
I think so. You're right. Yeah, like this. It's been reported like some sort of maybe gas popping, exploding, something. Yeah, it seems to be related to that as well. But again, right? So it's bizarre to me that maybe this, whatever this phenomena is, they call it ball lightning. Clearly, I think it's not lightning at all. It's not related at all. And so weird. So you see what I'm saying about how maybe they created the term. They kind of gave it the name of ball lightning because it would satisfy people enough to back off because everybody knows what lightning is. But this thing, whatever this thing is you're talking about, and yeah, what could it be? Is it plasma? Is it this? Is it the other thing? Is it this methane? Is it who the hell knows? But you name it something that seems familiar and people are satisfied, right? Weird, all of this.
It goes away. Like you said, swamp gas might satisfy some of the population. And the rest of us are going to say, yeah, that's a bunch of crap, But it makes you wonder, if it was plasma in an airplane, that would be extremely hot. There would be some damage left behind. You know, the fact that it's human nature to have an understanding or a name for everything, that just can't be helped. That's the way, you know, we're wired. You know, but it just made me really wonder, you know, what's underneath the planet. Why was Tesla silenced? Where all that comes from. I mean, anybody's guess is good. Spiritual, you know, poltergeist, some kind of things trying to manifest themselves, or maybe things leaving the planet, you know, just fading in from another dimension. I mean, the other woman was talking about that or alluding to that. So, you know, it's pretty neat. I mean, this one's pretty neat, more than somebody seeing a solid saucer or something. I mean, this is literally energy, and I don't think there's really any good answer to it that, you know, we can pin down.
Yeah, so. Yeah. And again, right, interestingly, I had been, so think about it this way too, right? I mean, for crying out loud, I do a UFO show, right? But I had been satisfied to this point to not even look into what ball lightning was. You see? I mean, in some capacity, it worked perfectly. And then as I look into it tonight, just kind of by accident, I'm like, oh crap, this is not at all what they were trying to say this stuff is. Interesting. You don't think we're being brainwashed? Oh boy.
You know what? When I was a kid, I remember there were a few introductions of it, but I remember when I was a kid, I had like a book on like UFOs. It was geared towards kids, and it had mentioned the Socorro saucer, which doesn't get spoken about much. In fact, I remember when I was a kid, we had an Estes rocket, one of those Estes rockets that you launch, and they actually made a UFO based on what that guy saw in Socorro with the symbol, like an arrow or whatever. I don't remember the symbol, but in the particular book, ball lightning was mentioned, and I want to say it was mentioned about being seen outside of a flight or in the countryside in England. I mean, when I'm talking, I must have been like 11 years old or 10 years old, you know, just piquing my curiosity on a book. And it just never makes the news. I mean, today that was pretty much insane, that stream of that flash. And like you said, it brings everything else into play again. You know, ball lightning, UFOs, flying saucers, maybe things that are cloaked and we can't see them, but we could see the plasma signature when it leaves. Still doesn't explain anything inside an airplane, you know. But it also makes you wonder about all those sightings that people see where these things are dripping things out. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. There are UFO sightings where there's video where people say that there's plasma or something heated that's dripping out of the planes, out of the craft, whatever it is. So, I don't know. No evidence, like everything else. We're left without evidence. You know, we're left playing Scully and Mulder. Could it be this? Could it be that? So,
that's a good way to put it.
But anyway.
Hold on, though. But before you go, have you heard? Yep. At some point in your life, had you looked into what I'm talking about right now? Is this surprising you that that possibly ball lightning itself is as anomalous and terrifyingly frightening as UFOs might be? Right? Like, there's not enough information on it, and they don't really know what it is. I had no idea. I had no freaking idea.
You know what? I never... You know, there's a million theories for flying saucers and things. Anti-gravity, you know, element, whatever it is, 118, 116, whatever, 115. All of those things. I mean, even flying saucers have more backstory, I guess, than what I think we're talking about now. Everybody in the chat, sprites, all of those things, I think we all, you know, I'm familiar with all those terms, but the backstory's not there, you know, comparable to literal flying saucer or material craft. So, yeah, I think it's something that's less in the forefront, you know, of whatever folklore and things we're talking about. But it is interesting. It's really interesting. And what happens if it was plasma? What happens if it was plasma that was contained? I mean, we see these things in Star Trek. what happens if it was some kind of energy that could be harnessed, and it would be limitless. It'd be worth explaining or worth investigating or worth maybe trying to recreate.
And that's back to Tesla. That's back to Tesla, right?
Well, wait, here's the other thing. Who the hell knows? I don't know what's on the other side of this is totally ridiculous, but wherever those coordinates were, I wonder if the particle accelerator, like if you went through the Earth, I wonder if the particle accelerator was firing up and that was the discharge at the other end,
Interesting. Yeah, there are no coordinates as far as I'm aware. I'll have to look in this paper, but that's a hell of an idea, man. Imagine if it was like right over that sucker. Oh boy, then
yeah, you know what I mean? It was like a big static charge, like you rubbed your foot on the carpet and fucking it had to go. Excuse me, the F-bomb. But anyway, have a good night, guys. I have to get up for work. I'm on call tonight, and it was a busy early evening, so I don't know what I'm going to get tomorrow.
Oh boy. Good luck. God bless. I'll talk to you soon. I appreciate the call, Joe.
Take it easy.
Thanks a lot, man. You too. There you go. Good stuff. Again, Joe. Everybody knows Joe. Joe, the funeral director in Florida, and when he says it's a busy night, that's not a good thing. That means more people are dying. So there you go. If you want to be part of the show, as simple as that, you dial the phone number to get on the show. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Joe, for the calls tonight. I'm looking to hear from you, though. If you have not called in yet, it is your turn. 702-957-1037. I'm doing my part, guys. I'm doing my part. I'm on this microphone probably more than I'm doing anything else these days, and that seems weird. I want to hear from you. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link. I'm gonna guilt you. I'm gonna twist your arm. I'm doing it. 702-957-1037. Discord, Troubled Minds. Go. Troubledminds.org, sorry. Wait. See? Yeah. All right, anyway, let's continue with this. Now, these stories now, okay. So, turns out we're describing UFOs away with a term named ball lightning that we don't even know what it is. We still don't know what it is. Right? Again, things starting to seem more and more suspicious to you? Yeah, me too. Here we go. Part 4 of this ball lightning story. Remember, the ball lightning came through the cockpit of a plane, and a scientist happened to be sitting there watching this thing going, WTF is this, right? Then we have this other eyewitness account of this thing bouncing around, causing this hissing sound, and multiple witnesses in a park, I believe they said. So here we go. Let's continue with these stories and what ball lightning may actually be or may not, because we don't know. We don't know a damn thing about this. But here we go, part 4.
I think as soon as we see something we can't explain, particularly something as bizarre as that, we have a tendency to move outside our normal frames of reference and explain things using, if you like, rather supernatural kinds of explanations.
One of the more sensible theories is that ball lightning is produced by a rare phenomenon known as bead lightning. This footage shows a lightning bolt that appears to break into small beads. Some scientists argue that ball lightning is a plasma bead that's become separated from the bolt. But there's one big problem. Eyewitnesses talk of balls lasting minutes. These beads vanish in less than half a second.
We don't know of a way in which we could create a plasma in the atmosphere that's self-contained, that would survive for many seconds. A plasma would provide plenty of energy, but it wouldn't be able to survive for that period of time.
So if ball lightning isn't part of a lightning bolt, could it be the product of one? This strange-looking stone is the fossilized remnant of a lightning strike. Lightning strikes sandy soil. Heat and current spread through the ground. Everything in its path fuses into a solid tube. This is nature's own glass. It's called a fulgurite and can stretch to depths of 15 feet.
Okay, you see, so now I'm playing a loop here. Supposedly, this is what ball lightning looks like. If you watch, there's like a lightning strike, and just afterward, there's like a bright flash, and these, I don't know, what would you call it? Like a ball, but I don't know. Again, right? There's some things in the sky. I think it's actually like lens flares from the camera, because you can see it moves along as the camera, whoever's operating the camera, it totally moves along with it. So those things in the sky are not what we're looking at. Those are for sure lens flares. But yeah, so you're looking at this. There's like a big lightning strike, and there's like a ball down there where it hits or it doesn't hit. Right, like you're not even sure this lightning hits the ground. But then there's these bright flashes and these things. So look down close to the horizon, right where this thing hits, or it doesn't hit, right? And there's like this kind of up in the air on the right side, just over the lights. You see like a little ball there, and then you see like a huge kind of a larger something going on. Anyway, but right, so clearly, if this was the case and this was actually ball lightning, and the thing that floated into that airplane cockpit, through the airplane cockpit, into the actual passenger portion of the plane, you'd expect there to be a strike of lightning, right? It's something like this. But again, some things do not compute, right? Some things do not seem to line up with what they're trying to say. So anyway, here we go. Part 5 of the ball lightning, talking about this stuff. And again, like I'm finding myself surprised. The more that you look into this stuff, the more it's very clear that there is a cover up. That there's an active campaign covering up the UFO phenomena because they clearly don't know what this is, in my opinion. Now it's weird how the more you learn, the more you change your mind. And I think they just don't know. Let's see. What else do we got? All right. So there we go. I'm going to leave that up. We can continue. Let's play this last part, ball lightning. Then we're going to get to some of this other stuff, some of the swamp gas and some other weirdness that they tried to call. Here we go. Or that they tried to tell us. Here we go. Part 5, this ball lightning bit, action.
When the tube is formed, dust is pushed up into the atmosphere. This detonation replicates the effect. Could something as simple as dust hold the key to this centuries-old mystery? Laboratory experiments prove a tiny dust ball holds its shape and ignites in an area of electrical charge. It could explain Hubler's account, but not the Eastern Airlines one.
It's extremely difficult to imagine how any chemical process could actually, if you like, invade the space inside the aircraft.
For now, ball lightning remains a mystery. But if science can unlock its secrets, ball lightning could turn out to be more than just a curiosity. It's even possible it could hold the key to a completely new source of energy.
Evidently it contains energy. Just the sheer process of glowing is sufficient to require some energy.
And if we could harness that energy, who knows what the future might hold.
Exactly, right? So I don't know. Like, it just seems to me that, less and less. Like, we seem to be more and more. As we learn more, we know less, that type of situation. I don't know. Again, I'm not a scientist. I'm just a dude with a microphone, some knucklehead on the internet. So, forgive me for that. But, let's read some good comments here, and then we'll keep on moving. Get to swamp gas, and then finish up the last half of this sucker. Let's see. What do we got? Let's go. Let's full screen that. And there you go. So supposedly, what you're looking at is the phenomenon known as ball lightning. Here you go. Derek wants to know, is the flash coming from the ground or the sky? That's a hell of a question. I would think the sky. John says, yep, seriously though, due to my childhood, I thought things like quicksand and weather balloons would be way more prominent in my life. Right, because of the way the media portrayed them, right? It was like almost like a psyop, right? Like a brainwash situation. Interesting. William says, has anyone heard about the skyquake or the trumpets in the sky that's heard around the world? Yep. Have heard about that stuff. And again, we'll get to that at some point. At some point, it'll, I like to keep it tied to at least a current news story so we can revisit things from the past instead of just doing things from the past. So as one of those pops up and I see it, I'll go and we'll look back into that. We'll get into that trumpets in the sky and the rest of that stuff because there are recordings of that are a little bit terrifying. Okay, let's see. What else do we got? John says this. Well, they are describing it as ionization, and I'm pretty sure that when something robs an electron, so maybe what you're seeing is ball lightning, is a deteriorating electron that, like with end stage, the death of an electron, you see it, the cloud would look like plasma is just the electron existing in all places at once. So that would be the superposition existing in all places at once. Is that what you mean? Again, like I said, I don't know. I'm not a scientist. You guys are confusing me with smart talk. I'm just a dummy. Derek says that planes have static ports for lightning strikes. Yeah, you would think, right? So, or else, you get planes getting struck and knocked down all the time, right? John says, I'm not a scientist and I definitely don't have a microphone. Oh, okay, all right. Well, you're smarter than me. So there we go. You can have that for sure. Let's see, what else do we got? Flat Fellow. Yep, don't know the guy. I'll at some point probably talk to the dude. Let's see. Leslie says, within us is plasma, crystalline body systems, and cells. That's our 12-stranded DNA body form. Our origin state of being, plasma, crystalline body form. Again, over my head, this stuff. That's okay. We'll get there at some point. Penny says, I've shown quite a few people to Mike's house, Leslie. Yes, you have. I'm telling you, Penny is the definite cheerleader, the cheerleading captain of this squad. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you for sending people over. Okay, I don't even know what you're talking about, Bailey, so unless you call, I don't know how to say that. America ba, it's America ba. All right, you know what to do. 702-957-1037. Explain that to me. Because, I've got some stuff I looked up, but looking stuff up on the fly, Googling stuff and reading things while people are watching is less than exciting. So anyway, there you go. I'm going to put the phone number up. If you want to explain that, I'd love to hear it. Jump on the Discord. Give me a call, 702-957-1037. Now there's some weird stuff here, right? Now, when you look at this, ball lightning is actually on historicmysteries.com. Is America? I don't know what that is. I just don't know what that is. I can't know all the things. Come on. Explain it to me. Somebody explain this. All right, so here we go. I'm linking this. Now, this is a little bit crazy. There's this website called Historic Mysteries. And guess what's on there? Yeah, you guessed it. Ball lightning. Ball lightning. Here's the link. Ball lightning is one of the most unusual sights on Earth. According to J.R. McNally's preliminary report, only 5% of the world's population has ever experienced it, about the same as those who have experienced lightning strikes up close. This strange phenomenon is also known as globular or globe lightning. All right, you see? History or historic mysteries, right? Okay, so what is the ball lightning? Here's the example. Now, ball lightning is an extraordinary spectacle that may appear as an illuminated orb, usually with a diameter of a few centimeters. It often occurs close to the ground during thunderstorms and is also associated with cloud-to-ground lightning. The color of the bolt could be white, yellow, blue, orange, or red. A distinctive color and hissing noise often accompany the flash. The duration is usually a few seconds. The lightning moves around and disappears suddenly, often sounding like fireworks. It may be silent and occasionally causes damage, but is generally harmless. All right. See that? Harmless. How? I'm still confused. Historical examples. Interesting. We just heard some floating into the plane and some other eyewitness accounts. Here's one. One of the earliest reports of ball lightning occurred in Widcombe-in-the-Moor, England, in October of 1638. During a violent storm, while villagers were at services in their local church, a ball of light approximately 8 feet across entered the church and went wild. Windows and pews became smashed, and entire stones from the church walls fell and shattered on the floor. The ball then split into two, one escaping the church via a window and the other burning itself out inside the church. All right? Now, does that sound like the same thing that's in the plane there, guys? At all? Anywhere close? So the thing in the plane was maybe the size of a basketball. This thing was 8 feet in diameter, 8 feet across, and then it went wild, smashing things, breaking windows, doing all the things, right? Anyway, like I said, the more you look into this, either all of this information is just fake and phony BS, or we have no idea what the hell this stuff is. Merkaba. You're killing me, Bailey. I don't know what that is. Merkaba. If you want to be part of the show, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link. Thanks for making me laugh. That was funny. And go to troubledminds.org, the official website. You got the Discord link there. You got the phone number right on top. Join the Discord if you have not. Lots of smart people in there. Lots of good things going on. Lots of good conversation. Merkaba is our spaceship. It's a vehicle to escape this realm. Is that, you told me above. All right, let's see. You're going to make me scroll up? Oh, there we go. You don't have to scroll. A Merkaba is Ezekiel, a wheel, the light body of angels, not physical beings. Okay, all right. So that's what we're saying here. This is a some sort of angelic entity. That's what's going on with the. So okay. Now hold on. Now this is where, all right, we're going to run with that for just a second. Now, think about this. In the 60s, they were running this Project Blue Book operation, all right? J. Allen Hynek, this Quintanilla guy, and no, you're good, Bailey, right? So that they were doing this, and the government was actually investigating UFOs, and they were putting out explanations for these cases, all right? Now, in those cases, many times, again, weather balloons, right? Mass hallucinations, right? Venus in the night sky, ball lightning, swamp gas, all right? Now, the ball lightning, check this out. If this is what we're running with, what Bailey's saying here, Merkaba is Ezekiel's wheel, the light body of angels, not physical beings, all right? So we don't know what this is, but let's say it's that. So what we're doing is we're explaining away one thing with another thing that we also don't understand, right? You see what's going on here? I'm telling you. If somebody's a scientist and you can set me straight, I'd love to be set straight, because I'm even more worried now. If we're just naming something in particular to pacify people, and that would be the term lightning. Exactly, right? There's beings in balls of light, says Leslie. Yeah, I've heard of that, Ezekiel's wheel and the rest of that stuff. Yeah, so you think this is all related? You think it's all maybe like William was saying, maybe the horns, the trumpets in the sky? Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. Let's see. William says, I read that men are more likely to be hit by lightning than women. Go figure. Yeah, right? That's you know what that is? That's male privilege. That's what that is. See what I did there? Let's see. Yeah, Derek says, that's scary, the church story. Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly. So, okay, so explain to me that, how we have this thing float through the fuselage and the cockpit into the passenger cabin of a plane, witnessed by a scientist, and it kind of set off his curiosity for ball lightning. Let me play that again, just real quick, so we can hear the difference, right? I'm going to read these two juxtapositions of these two things, all right? Now, this is insane. This is absolutely absurd. One of the earliest reports of ball lightning occurred in Widcombe-in-the-Moor, England, in October of 1638. During a violent storm, while villagers were at services in their local church, a ball of light approximately 8 feet across entered the church and went wild. Windows and pews became smashed, and an entire stone from the church walls fell and shattered on the floor. The ball then split into two, one escaping the church via a window and the other burning itself out inside the church. All right? This thing comes in, it's smashing things up, it's breaking windows. It knocked entire stones from the church walls fell and shattered on the floor. All right? Now, if that's a ball lightning, and this here is also ball lightning, don't we have a problem?
March 19th, 1963. Eastern Airlines flight EA-539 from New York to Washington. 5 minutes past midnight, the plane encounters a storm. There's a loud bang and a bright flash. Seconds later, a glowing ball emerges from the pilot's cabin. The blue-white ball hovers above the aisle and floats slowly toward the rear of the plane. It reaches the back of the plane and vanishes. Remarkably, the plane continues unharmed. But this wasn't fantasy. This was fact, and it wasn't the first account of its kind. In World War II, pilots reported strange balls of light that seemed to follow their planes. U.S. pilots named them Foo Fighters.
All right, that's the part I wanted you to hear, that first part, all right? So these are two very different things, right? If we're calling them both ball lightning, one comes into a church and just smashes the whole damn place up, splits into two, this thing is huge, and then just disappears. This other one floats just straight through the plane, doesn't harm anybody or anything, floats down the middle of it, and then disappears at the back of the plane. Does that sound like the same thing to any of you guys at all? Other than maybe the visual of this? It doesn't make sense, does it? That doesn't make sense at all. So what the hell do we know? What the hell do we know? Because, again, right, I understand one of them is from 1638, all right? But the other one's from, what, 68? Still, that's a long time ago, right? Both of them. And so we have eyewitness accounts from both. And Yeah, you tell me. I have no idea. A little bit weird. What's up? Joey says Foo Fighters. Yep. Yeah. So again, what does this mean? I have no idea. But again, I think it's interesting to note that we have no idea what the hell this is even about. We don't even know what ball lightning is. So how can we explain things away? One thing that we don't know what it is as something else that we don't know what it is. You see, like again, the upside down we live in, right? A little bit bizarre. Okay, let's keep going. Now let's get okay. Now there's another one, right? Now there's a bunch of links here. I'll send you the links, all the stuff I was reading about this, and it's weird, right? The stuff's weird. There's just on this one webpage. There's more incidents with this ball lightning stuff. We could do we could finish the entire show with ball lightning. Not going to do that. Probably boring you to tears. But you get it, right? You get what I'm saying. Let's go to this real fast so I can show you what I mean. But there's incident after incident historically where they're talking about these things, right? Catherine and Mary, 1726. We got George Richmond, 1752. We got Tsar Nicholas the second. There's no date there. HMS Warren Hastings, 1809. R.C. Jennison, that's 1963. And this is all different things. All right. Anyway, enough with ball lightning. Let's move on to something a little more exciting. Yeah, that's right. Swamp gas, part 1.
UFOs over Michigan and the swamp gas explanation by Charles Lear. In 1966, there was a flap over Michigan that got the attention of the press and the Air Force. There was a great deal of excitement, and Project Blue Book's scientific consultant, J. Allen Hynek, was sent in to help calm things down. At a press conference, he offered some possible explanations. Due to sightings over a marsh, he speculated that people had seen ignited balls of swamp gas, some going out and others igniting, and that this created the illusion of movement. The swamp gas explanation made the headlines, outraged many Michigan residents, and became forever associated with Hynek in the history books. Fortunately for Hynek, he had a sense of humor and was able to turn his gaffe into an entertaining talk at a celebration of the Michigan events 10 years later. On March 14, 1966, in the early morning hours, police officers in Washtenaw County saw lights in the sky flying at extremely high speed over Lima Township. Officers across the border in Sylvania, Ohio, reported seeing the same lights, as did observers at Selfridge Air Force Base, located in Harrison Township, Michigan. This is in the area of Ann Arbor, 40 miles west of Detroit in southeast Michigan. The lights were seen a few days later, around the same time, by sheriff's deputies at various locations around the area. One deputy described seeing a red, green, and yellow object, shaped like a top.
Okay, shaped like a top. Now we're moving to swamp gas. Now, this is the account of that, as you just heard, and J. Allen Hynek again from Project Blue Book. So we've ad nauseum the ball lightning, but now listen to the swamp gas. The same or similar type of explanation, and just like they said there in the beginning, outraged the citizens of Michigan because, well, swamp gas, guys, swamp gas. There we go. Part 2, action.
On March 20th, police went to investigate reports of a UFO landing coming from residents around a swamp in Dexter Township. One witness, truck driver Frank Manor, went to investigate with his son. He told police the following, quote, "We got to about 500 yards of the thing. It was sort of shaped like a pyramid, with a blue-green light on the right-hand side and on the left a white light. I didn't see no antenna or portal. The body was like a yellowish coral rock, and it looked like it had holes in it. Sort of like if you took a piece of cardboard box and split it open. You couldn't see it too good because it was surrounded with heat waves, like you see on the desert. The white light turned into a blood red as we got close to it, and Ron said, 'Look at that horrible thing.'" End quote. More than 40 officers searched the swamp, and some reported seeing red and white lights flying back and forth. Patrolman Robert Hunnewell of the Dexter Village Police Department described seeing the same object Manor said he'd seen, hovering 1,000 feet over his car. It then continued making sweeps over the swamp. Then, over 80 students at Hillsdale College reported lights over another swamp near the college. Soon reports were coming in from all around the area of Ann Arbor. The Air Force was called in to investigate by Congressman Weston Vivian, and they sent J. Allen Hynek, who arrived on March 23rd where he encountered a situation he described as, quote, "near hysteria." Adding to his stress was the fact that his jaw had been broken and was, at that time, wired shut. He struggled to interview witnesses and often had to fight with press members to gain access. He was frustrated and called the head of Project Blue Book, Major Hector Quintanilla.
Major Hector Quintanilla. Now, he's actually infamous in Project Blue Book lore as one of the folks who was sent in to change the narrative, right? Because as it goes, J. Allen Hynek was out investigating these things, and the more he found anomalous things, reliable witnesses, the more he started to believe there was something happening that we could not explain. Enter this Quintanilla fellow. Now, he was sent in to squash this narrative and basically start covering things up. And so I think, given all of this stuff, the whole history of this, we did Project Blue Book at some point back in the day. We should probably come back and look into some of those files again in the future. Because again, right, the stuff is literally endless. You could look into the brand new CIA files. You could look into the Project Blue Book files, and probably just those two things alone, you could spend the next 10 years doing just shows on that stuff, right? But then you guys would get sick of this. It'd be the same stuff over and over, right? But you get the point, right? There's an unbelievable amount of information you could kind of chase and go look into these things. And I think the more you learn, there's people out there that have read this stuff for most of their lives that they're convinced there's some interesting things happening out there, and we cannot explain them. So anyway, so Hynek calls Quintanilla in this particular instance in Michigan, and this is regarding the swamp gas. And here we go. It continues.
Quintanilla described his interactions with Hynek in a manuscript he wrote in 1975, UFOs and Air Force Dilemma. According to Quintanilla, Hynek wanted to call a press conference, which would have been a precedent for the Air Force. Hynek told Quintanilla that his solution for the sightings was, quote, swamp gas, end quote. And Quintanilla advised him to get a reaction to this from his, quote, colleagues at the university, end quote. The press conference was approved, and the Detroit Press Club was chosen as the site. Hynek offered his thoughts that a crescent moon, the planet Venus, and swamp gas were all possible explanations for the sightings. The press latched on to swamp gas, and indignant articles were printed in many papers. Among the people who were outraged by Hynek's explanation was a U.S. representative from Michigan's 5th Congressional District, Gerald Ford. Ford was House Minority Leader at the time, and he proposed that Congress investigate the Michigan sightings. He sent a letter dated March 28, 1966, to the chairman of the Science and Astronautics Committee and the Armed Services Committee, suggesting that one of them schedule, quote, hearings on the subject of UFOs, end quote. He mentioned Hynek's explanations in the letter, and in a press release that same day, it is noted that he described Hynek's swamp gas explanation as, quote, flippant, end quote. Documents relating to Ford's efforts and the resulting open hearing are housed at the Gerald R. Ford Presidential Library and Museum.
Flippant, swamp gas, ball lightning, explaining these things away in things that with terms that are maybe familiar in the periphery to people because you smash it into the zeitgeist, and then you're able to explain things away, right? Funny how we have, again, like I said, we have the UFO, which is really not quantified, and then we're trying to explain that away with these other things that are also murky at best. Dear Mike, America, Bailey, yep, okay. If you want to tell me all about it, you know how to find me, Bailey. Troubledminds.org, click the Discord, call that phone number. I'd love to hear it. If you want to explain to me what's going on with the Ezekiel's wheel bit, I'd love to hear it. Not, again, as you know, not my wheelhouse. But I'd love to hear it. So anyway, let's a couple more clips here. I wanted to get the swamp gas in, and how some of this, again, this gets created in the it gets put in the zeitgeist, right? And so just like I said, I surprised myself tonight only by running into this information that still to this day we have no freaking clue what the hell ball lightning is. And it all started with that article, right? It all started with the blue jets in the atmosphere. And now suddenly I'm like, okay, well, let's look into this ball lightning. And I was like, what the hell? Are you kidding me? We still have no idea what this is, and this is an acceptable explanation for UFOs in the 60s? Yeah, well, here we are. Here we are talking about it. Let's see. Billy says, if you really want to understand swamp gas, drink too many Guinness and wait 17 hours. So that's a good one, too. Have I ever had a Guinness? I'm not sure. Maybe once ever. Anyway, all right. So anyway, let's continue. There's two more for this swamp gas thing, and then we'll round this out and we'll finish this up. But yeah, I mean, right? Like, what the hell's going on here? If this stuff doesn't scream cover up again, like the UFOs, guys, America, bah, here we go. Next part, action.
The Armed Services Committee held an open hearing on April 5th, 1966. There to answer questions were both Hynek and Quintanilla. When the session was open to the press and public, the first person to answer questions from the committee chairman, L. Mendel Rivers, was Secretary of the Air Force Harold Brown. Brown's answers reflected a belief that most sightings could be explained in prosaic terms and that any remaining unidentifieds were due to lack of information. Hynek was next, and he started by stating that he was treated, quote, rather unfairly, end quote, by the press. Brown responded, quote, you ought to be chairman of this committee, end quote. Hynek then added that he was described by the press as, quote, a puppet of the Air Force, end quote. In response, he had prepared a written statement and he was allowed to read it. Hynek declared that he had, quote, attempted to remain open-minded, end quote, throughout his involvement, quote, despite the fact that the whole subject seemed utterly ridiculous, end quote. He mentioned that he'd recommended that a, quote, small scientific panel, end quote, be used to study, quote, selected unknowns, end quote, in 1953 and 1965. Hynek then told Rivers that he'd been, quote, scooped, end quote, by Brown, who'd mentioned that the Scientific Advisory Board had recommended the same. The, quote, scientific panel, end quote, would turn out to be a group put together at the University of Colorado, led by Dr. Edward U. Condon. This would become known as the Condon Committee. The group conducted a study and released a public report in January 1969.
The Condon report. Now, you see why I don't do the actual proper way you're supposed to do quotes? Because half the damn show would be quote, unquote, quote, unquote, quote, unquote. That's why I don't do it that way. Because, oh, my Lord. That's why I give you the source and you guys can go dig them out yourself. Because, holy smokes, it's giving me a headache. All right, so last one, swamp gas here. J. Allen Hynek, the Condon report, and what we're talking about tonight is, do you think these are acceptable explanations, guys? Ball lightning? And again, I basically had taken ball lightning as a farcical explanation for UFOs, and not even realizing myself that ball lightning is barely understood now, let alone in the 60s. You see the world we live in, right? It's like if they tell you a thing enough times, you accept the thing they tell you enough times as the truth. When the reality is, well, that's what you're talking about. Last part, swamp gas, J. Allen Hynek, Michigan, action.
The report recommended that further study of UFOs was unwarranted, as it offered nothing of scientific value. The Air Force shut down Project Blue Book shortly thereafter. In an April 21, 1966 press release, Ford attributed the Air Force-funded study directly to his call for the hearings. If this was the case, then Hynek could be blamed for Project Blue Book's demise. He would forever be associated with swamp gas, but he got beyond that and became a champion of civilian UFO study and one of its heroes. In 1973, Hynek founded the Center for UFO Studies, which included many scientists and academics. He wrote books on the subject and remained open to the possibility that there was an otherworldly explanation for the phenomenon. In 1976, the Mutual UFO Network held a symposium in Ann Arbor celebrating the 10th anniversary of the sightings. Hynek was a speaker, and his talk was titled Swamp Gas Plus 10 and Counting. During his talk, according to attendee Steve Ward, link available, Hynek showed a cartoon that made reference to his infamous statement. Depicted were aliens with ugly weapons, one saying, "Take us to the one that called us swamp gas." Hynek may be forever linked to swamp gas, but he owned it.
Yeah, right? Take us to the one that called us swamp gas. I love it. Now, I'll have that YouTube link as always, and you guys can follow along. I'm not making this stuff up. I think that was fantastic. Like, I love listening to that stuff. It's very, what would you call it? not archaic, archival, right? It kind of has that feel to it, right? Where he's very precise, and that's what this podcast would be like. Not maybe archival, but without the live stuff, without you guys, it'd be very kind of like poopy pants and to the point and quote unquote, and you know what I mean? I mean, it's cool. I love listening to it. I think it's great, but how fun is that? Oh, dear Lord. Like, you start to punch yourself in the face after a quote unquote for the 44th time in the same sentence. Holy smokes. Yeah, Merkaba. I want to hear about it, Bailey, and I only want to hear about it from Bailey. Bailey, we got Jay calling in right now. You're on deck. Get on deck, Bailey. Jump in the Discord or give me a call. I want to hear about the Merkaba. I want to know if I'm saying it right. But let's go. Let's go to Jay in New York, and then we'll see where this ends up. Well, you're on deck, Bailey. No pressure. Jay from New York, you're on Troubled Minds with Mike. How you doing tonight, my friend?
Mike, good. How are you?
Doing well, my man. What's on your mind?
I just got to say something about the swamp gas. When we were kids in the Boy Scouts, the camp had a pretty good-sized swamp in it. We used to take dry cleaner bags and put them in a swamp and put a stick in there and bum them up and then tie a fuse to them and light them up in the air and stuff like that. And that was something to see. I mean, it really was. But, yeah, I'm still calling bullshit like you guys are.
Yeah, right.
Because it wasn't like that.
Actually, as you're saying this, I'm going to put up on the screen right now. I'm going to loop it. It's only a minute long. But there's actually a guy that's collecting swamp gas and lighting it on fire. So I want to just put that up as we're talking here so people can see what you're talking about. Like, I looked into some of this as well, and I'm like, okay, what is swamp gas actually like? What's it about?
We used to do it when we were kids,
Yeah.
That's what you did at Boy Scout. We didn't have phones when we were at Boy Scout camp when we were kids. You're out there, hey, look, and you poke the stick down here and watch the bubble come up and hold the lighter on it. You get a little boof of fire. Well, what if we take a dry cleaner bag and put some effort into it and put it on a piece of kite string with a wick burning onto it? Whoa! But nah, not like that.
Not to actually describe UFOs, right?
Yeah, no, it's not going to happen. Like you'd have to have the whole damn swamp do it all at the exact same time, and then get way up there in the air, and then poof.
Yeah, did you hear what happened in that account there? So they said that in 1956 in Michigan that they had, like, what would they say, 40 police officers combing the swamp, and many of them reported seeing these floating orbs. They were red, they were green, they were blue, they were all these colors. Like, how the hell does the swamp gas just continue to just float and burn, right? With like the 40 people combing the swamp looking for.
They had a jamboree with the Boy Scouts, and you had 200 kids out there with dry cleaner bags.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I mean, I'm sure that's what's in the CIA report.
Probably. Probably.
Well,
Yeah, I'm with you, man.
You're the
I'm
guy
with
that
you.
owns a hardware store. We're going to put you out of business unless you get your whole Boy Scout troop to say they were out there lighting off dry cleaner bags filled with swamp gas.
Well, but again, so it was enough to make it go away, right? Like in that the clip we just played, like it seemed like the residents of Michigan were insulted because they know what swamp gas is. They're like, really, guys, you're going to tell us this? This is ridiculous. So I mean, again,
you see it with your own eyes. I mean, I've been out in South Dakota, man, and we saw a green comet come in. And I've seen shooting stars and stuff like that, and those things move along pretty quick. This thing was moving relatively slow in the grand scheme of things. And it didn't really ever hit. It just kind of kept on going. But, it's way out west. Yeah, it could have been a great big piece of copper, low Earth orbit up there, flighting around, whatever. But, me and one other person saw it. No phone or camera or nothing like that back then.
Yeah, the old days, the good old days.
You say something to somebody about that like that, and they're like, "Wow, man, you're cut off, man. It's time for you to go home." No more beer for you.
No,
I'm telling you, we saw it.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm with you. I've seen some things too. All right, so then swamp gas clearly. So I'll read some of that. What that supposedly is supposed to be. All right. Now, what about the ball lightning? What did you think about all that? Were you listening when we were doing that?
Just the tail end of the ball lightning, and same kind of thing, man. That just doesn't work out. In order for it to work, it's got to hit the ground. because it's grounded.
Right, and so we have ones floating through planes.
Stupid simple.
yeah, right.
You got to have a ground. You got to have a ground, or it's not going to do it.
Or it doesn't work, right? At least so they say. But again, there's the plane in the air, and they floated through the cockpit.
Swamp gas going all the way up there, and then they can ground to the swamp gas because it just came out of the ground.
That's it. You got to combine the two. It's the ball lightning creates the swamp gas that builds the UFO, and then the aliens show up and they want to know who's calling them swamp gas. I think that explains it all. I think that sums all of it up, right?
Nah, keep it simple, man.
Keep it simple.
We've been taken advantage of for a really long time. Probably God only knows how long.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It was Egyptian times, and they were building the Stonehenge, all that stuff, man. Who knows? You know, how long has this really been going on?
For a very long time, I think. Controlling the information is it's an age-old. As long as people could communicate, people were trying to control narratives, and here we are, still talking about it. At least we have the internet, and we can talk about it still.
All those books out of the Bible.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Back when they've got the printing presses going. Well, crisis is a lot of work, man. Why don't we take a couple of these pages out?
Yeah, exactly.
Editing.
The Gnostic. Yep, the Gnostic Gospels.
Same way we do in the news, you know. You take this little clip of what the guy says and this little clip of what the guy says, and you put it together with your narrative. It's completely different of the truth, but easy to sell.
Hopefully.
I'm probably not allowed to say that anymore.
No, you can say that. Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
About that.
You can say whatever you want. This is just a chill stream. There's no radio gods to appease. There's no FCC. None of that. Just say whatever you want to say. Think whatever you want to think. It's all good. You know how we do.
I'm telling you, I'm going to flip the telephone handles on the ham radio, man, and start broadcasting it to my cousins.
You won't have to. Pretty soon. All right, look, that's why we're doing the other thing,
I saw
right?
that. With the FM, I got it.
Did you hear that?
On there, too. I listened to it in the truck on the way home.
Okay, sweet. So, yeah, so the thing is that. So, if we do a good job there, Joe Roop, who does the host, he's the host for Lighting the Void on that Fridge FM, he says he's getting calls every day for paranormal shows to syndicate. So, that's kind of down our alley. And yeah, clearly, cross your fingers. We do a good job. Maybe we'll end up on a radio station by you. You can hop on the truck.
I'll get you back into my building over there.
Yeah, all right. You still got that?
With those ghost hunters.
The big building with the roller.
The building that
the roller skating rink.
66 Main Street. You can Google it if you want.
All right, sweet.
It's huge.
All right, there you go.
1922 it was built.
There you go. Now
I'll let you go talk to that other girl because I kind of want to hear what she has to say. I've been reading her in the chat, and I've been keeping you on here forever.
That's okay. She can't call in.
I'll talk to you till 4
she can't call in. That's cool. You are the man, Jay. Thank you for calling. I appreciate it. Give me a chance to sip my beer and hear hot takes as always. I appreciate it.
All right. Have a good night, Mike.
Thanks. You too, Jay. Jay from New York. Simple as that. You want to be on the show, guys? 702-957-1037. And I can't say thank you enough to the people that call into this show. You have no idea. Try and get on a microphone, fill the air for 3 hours straight by yourself. You get a little reprieve here and there when you play some audio clips or something, but it changes the world, basically. It makes it not feel like a tedious job when you guys call and have smart, good, informative, funny things to say, right? All those things combined. It does mean a lot. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link, and let's read about swamp gas for just a smidge, and then let's finish this up. Still taking calls. Bailey says she can't call tonight, so that's fine. No problem. Let's see what else. What do we got? Read some chat to make sure we're caught up. Everything's good. And let's see. Where are we? All right. Did you guys catch that swamp gas? The swamp gas business going on there? Yeah, crazy. Dave, what's up, says, my uncle had a 42-acre farm, and he talked about what he assumed was ball lightning floating around. He said he would watch it float around his field. All right. Interesting, right? So, meaning what? Was there like a lightning strike? Or, like, what happened? What happened with that exactly? Was there something else, something different? I don't know. Derek says probably natural gas. I have no idea. Again, this is what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't seem like these accounts of ball lightning are the same things, right? One busts up a church, smashes things up. 8 feet wide. Another one's the size of a basketball, floats into an airplane in flight, floats to the back of the plane and disappears without harming anything or anyone. Right? Is that the same thing at all? No, of course not. Of course not. It couldn't be farther from the same thing. And so, other than it's an orb. That's it. All right, so you tell me. What's really going on here? What is really happening? Let's go back to the chat, reading some chat. All right, let's see. William says this. Are there claims of people seeing a round orb floating in fields and then leaving crop circles? I have heard that, actually. I've heard that. We should actually go back to crop circles because when we did it initially, we did it kind of from the scientific purview of people that have, there's that institute, what's it called? BLT, the BLT Institute. And the only reason I remember that is because it's the bacon, lettuce, tomato, right? That's the only reason I remember it's BLT. But they actually, they supposedly do scientific things, experiments in the crop circles. So, but going back, actually, I've heard stories of these orbs floating around in fields and leaving crop circles. I think that's what you're saying. So William continues, the floating orb description is the same as the ball lightning described here. And you're right. You're totally right. What's up? Larry says that. Yeah, I mean, Freunde, I don't, if that's like a terrible thing and you're getting me thrown in jail, I'm not rating it. It's a good thing my French is terrible. Dave says he wasn't exactly sure what he was saying. Yeah, an orb of some kind. And I have heard that. I have heard that when crop circles tend to appear in particular areas, that they see these orbs floating around the fields themselves before the crop circles are made. So, interesting. Let's see, what else do we got? Read some chat. Let's see. Leslie says, once you are awake, you cannot go back into the dream. So here we are. What's up, Kate? Swamp gas, incredible. Could be channeled and used as heating or power, maybe. I'm not sure about that. I think it's an excuse to explain away things we don't understand. And again, I think looking at this show has again reinforced that for me because we started with ball lightning tonight, and we don't know a damn thing about ball lightning. But somehow in the 60s, we were explaining UFOs away with ball lightning. Doesn't make sense. Let's see. What's up, Kate? Hi, Mike, Penny, Leslie, and all in chat. How you doing? Thanks for showing up. Okay, let's finish this up. What else do we got? So we did all the swamp gas clips. We got everything. We've played all the things. We've done all the things. I've eaten 2 tacos and drank a couple beers. We're in good shape. So that was the. If you guys saw the video, this was the guy kind of going through the swamp, putting the top of a milk carton into the water so the methane could escape, and he would light it on fire. Okay, so I'm going to drop that in here, and you can see what swamp gas is, right? So here we go. I'll drop that in the chat, and you guys can look that up and watch it if you want to. And here we go. All right. So now, what exactly is this? Here we are. Let's see. Marsh gas. All right, this is what they call it. This is from the Ministry of Truth, Wikipedia. Let's go to this. Marsh gas, swamp gas, and bog gas is a mixture of methane, hydrogen sulfide, and carbon dioxide produced naturally within some geographical marshes, swamps, and bogs. The surface of marshes, swamps, and bogs is initially porous vegetation that rots to form a crust that prevents oxygen from reaching the organic material trapped below. That is the condition that allows anaerobic digestion and fermentation of any plant or animal material, which incidentally also produces methane. In some cases, there is sufficient heat, fuel, and oxygen to allow, here we go, spontaneous combustion and underground fires to smolder for some considerable time, as has occurred at a natural reserve in Spain. Such fires can cause surface subsidence, presenting an unpredictable physical hazard as well as environmental changes or damage to the local environment and the ecosystem it supports. So, you see, right? You see. All right. So one more thing. Hold on. We got swamp gas here. The history reader. UFOs and swamp gas. All right. Here's some more. Like we were talking about that, the 1960s, the Michigan thing, the swamp gas, the Hillsdale College, and the rest of this stuff. There's more here. There's more. As always, right? The more you look into it, the more there seems to be. Let's see. How do I send you a CD? If you want to send me a CD, probably the best way is to rip it to MP3 and then email it. If you can't rip it to MP3 and you're not sure how, just, I don't know. What's the CD? What are we trying to send? Let's talk. We'll talk. Anyway, here we go. This is from the History Reader. Back to that again. Swamp gas. UFOs and the Ford administration. This is the same stuff we were talking about. Over a period of 6 days in March 1966, UFOs were seen by hundreds of people in southern Michigan and Ohio, in an area between and around Toledo and Detroit, later classified as swamp gas. All right. Anyway, you guys can read all this. I'm not going to read all this right now because we're a little long, etc., whatever. But what I do want to see here is swamp gas. Let's see. Not that one. This one. This is the old school internet, right? Remember when all the web pages were black? Remember GeoCities? You guys old enough to remember that? All right. Now, look at this. Swamp gas has been known by several names. Ignis fatuus, will-o'-the-wisp, corpse candles, jack-o'-lantern, and marsh gas. A multitude of reliable references to and descriptions of this natural phenomenon have been found in prestigious journals such as Nature, Edinburgh Philosophical Journal, and Simon's Monthly Meteorological Magazine. Some of these references are global in scope and span the years from the 19th century to modern times. Talking about swamp gas. UFOs, right? Swamp gas. Characteristically, swamp gas is found in peat bogs, mud flats, marshes, and swamps, wherever stagnant water coincides with the decay of organic matter. The following reference demonstrates a typical observation. Now, there's some big words in here, and I need to take a quick break. So let's have Microsoft Mike read this to you. And this is straight from this article. User pages umbc.edu, and of course it says edu, so it must be true. So let's play this.
The water of the marsh is ferruginous and covered with an iridescent crust. During the day, bubbles of air were seen rising from it, and in the night blue flames were observed shooting from and playing over its surface. As I suspected that there was some connection between these flames and the bubbles of air, I marked during the daytime the place where the latter rose up most abundantly, and repaired thither during the night. To my great joy, I actually observed bluish-purple flames, and did not hesitate to approach them. On reaching the spot they retired, and I pursued them in vain. All attempts to examine them closely were ineffectual. On another day, in the twilight, I went to the place, where I waited the approach of night. The flames became gradually visible, but redder than formerly, thus showing that they burned also during the day. I approached nearer, and they retired. Convinced that they would return again to their place of origin, when the agitation of the air ceased, I remained stationary and motionless, and observed them again gradually approach. As I could easily reach them, it occurred to me to attempt to light paper by means of them, but for some time I did not succeed in this experiment, which I found was owing to my breathing. I therefore held my face from the flame, and also interposed a piece of cloth as a screen, on doing which I was able to singe paper, which became brown-colored, and covered with a viscous moisture. I next used a narrow slip of paper, and enjoyed the pleasure of seeing it take fire. The gas was evidently flammable, and not a phosphorescent one, as some have maintained. But how do these lights originate?
How do these lights originate? Yes, thank you, Microsoft Mike, for stepping in and assisting me. All right, that's the question, right? So we see that from that video that you can actually, and like Jay said, they used to light swamp gas on fire, right? You can do this. You can actually prove this is a thing, all right? What about the spontaneous combustion of swamp gas? Not just that, orbs floating around that look like UFOs. I don't know. The more I think about this, the more I don't know. The more it kind of makes me, I don't know. What would you say? Suspicious? Is that a good word? Would you guys call me suspicious? What's up, Kate? Heard all of those descriptions. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot here. We're talking about all of this, talking about swamp gas tonight, talking about Project Blue Book UFOs, talking about ball lightning. And I had no idea that we still have really no idea what ball lightning is. So I'm kind of glad I found that article just where we started. Where do we start this tonight? This is where we started this one tonight, right here on Live Science, talking about blue jets of lightning shooting out into the atmosphere. So let's do this. Let's play this. Play a little bit of this so we can see what I'm talking about here. That's what we're talking about. This is where we started tonight, right? And it led me to swamp gas. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, again, I don't know. Like, it just seems human explanations pale in comparison to what's really going on. Let's say that. I think that's probably a good way to put it, right? So we're watching these blue jets, or as they call them, elves, seen from space. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. All right. Well, what about the ball lightning? What about the ball lightning? That's the UFOs, right? Yeah, I don't know. I really have no idea. In any case, this is not the answer show. This is the question show. And so I'm asking you, what does this mean? Are they pulling a fast one on us? And are UFOs a real phenomena that end up washed out by some stupid government program? Oh, I don't know. Something like, let's just throw a name out there, TTSA, To the Stars Academy, or something like this. You feel me? I know you guys understand. I'm preaching to the choir. I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but I was a little bit surprised tonight to learn that we don't really know jack about swamp gas. Or I'm sorry, not swamp gas. We really don't know jack about ball lightning. And so, yeah, curious, interesting. We're going to talk about more of this as we go. Let's see. Go back to the chat as we finish this up. Let's see. The Ghost Hunter debunking of their tour of my building. Oh, really? Your show was on, or your building was on Ghost Hunters, huh? Or no, you had a Ghost Hunter. Yeah. Let's see. What's the best way to do that? Okay, I'll get you a P.O. box. How about that? I'll get you a P.O. box, Jay, and you can send me that CD. I would appreciate that. Larry says, Kugelibis is see, I can't. My French is terrible. Ball lightning. I think it's explained as different waves of light radiation forming an event horizon orb. Who knows? Yeah, right. Exactly. I think, and exactly. So here's part of the problem with that. So we haven't done spontaneous human combustion, but we have. So if we have swamp gas floating out of these swamps, which clearly can be demonstrated, right? As Jay said they used to do when they were kids. I just had a video of a guy doing it with half a milk carton, right? Lighting the methane gas on fire. It was coming out of the swamp, which again can be verified, duplicated, etc. But how do orbs of swamp gas become ignited spontaneously and float around, looking like UFOs, and not start a forest fire? Maybe because it's all, I don't know, sticky and wet because it's a swamp. I don't know. Again, right? Like there's a lot of things here that make you wonder what the hell's really going on. So anyway, all right. We're going to finish this up. We're done. It's a Friday night. Michael Strange has had a hell of a long week doing lots of shows. I hope you enjoyed it. Spent a lot of time putting this stuff together, and oddly enough, we end up at swamp gas. Of all things, I never thought I'd be talking about swamp gas directly, but let me tell you, the more important and interesting thing here is that ball lightning. So there we go. Let's read up a little bit more of the chat, and we'll finish this up. Leslie says, carbon burns with high pressure. It's a diamond. We are a softer form of diamonds. Holy smokes, that's smarter than me. Let's see. Heard of all those descriptions, says Kate. What's up? The five senses deceive humanity. I kind of agree. And they also define humanity, which is weird. Kate says, it's an interesting subject. Opens your mind to all possibilities. I kind of agree. Good stuff. Thank you guys for hanging out. Read some more chat and we'll finish this up. Eric says, Facebook intentionally logged everyone out 45 minutes ago. Local news just reported it. Why? That's a good question. That's a hell of a question. Did they log us out? I'm still rolling. You still here? Eric, what's up? Eric from Pittsburgh. Thanks for showing up, man. Joey, I spontaneously combusted yesterday. Hate when that happens, right? Exactly. Did you have to peel yourself off the ceiling and put yourself back together? How did that work? I'd like to know. Let me know. Call me when you get a chance. I'd love that. Ben, what's up, says, some guy did an experiment with ball lightning. He was able to create it in a lab, but they have never been able to recreate it outside of a lab, which is exactly what I've been saying for half the night. And also, they can't even maintain it for more than a few seconds in the lab. Exactly. And I had no idea. So I think that's part of the problem here. And so now take that, Ben, back to where I started here. And in the 60s, Project Blue Book was going through and classifying UFO sightings as particular things. And how the hell could they write off so much as swamp gas and things like ball lightning when ball lightning, for instance, we don't even understand today? It took till 2012 to even get a verified video of ball lightning, so they say, from a Chinese camera. So right, what the hell's going on here? Definitely nuts. William says, why is that? I was logged out as well a while ago. Oh, really? You guys got logged out? Clearly because they don't want you to hear what I'm talking about. Clearly. They're on to me, guys. They're on to us. Oh, shit, I got to go. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so we're done. Let's see. What's up? I'm not on Facebook tonight. It's Justin. How's it going? What's up? I see you there. Thanks for showing up, guys. Okay, let's see. Okay, well, before we go, don't forget about the Merkaba. All right, the Merkaba. Ezekiel's Wheel. Angels in the Outfield. I think I've seen that movie. Bailey, you're on deck. You're going to have to call me at some point and explain to me the Merkabas, because I don't even know what that means. First time seeing that word, and I'd love to hear more about it. You guys are the best. Thanks for hanging out. You know what we're going to do? We're going to take the weekend off. We'll start on Sunday for 3 p.m. Pacific, doing the news show, Conspiracy News with Michael Strange. If you haven't joined the Twitch channel, please go do that. Lots of good information coming out of there. I'm going to rest up between now and then we have Monday night off, and then we go Tuesday through Friday. 3 days of that being actually on the radio with the Fringe FM. And again, so the goal there, guys, is to get syndicated and put on the actual radio waves. So you can jump in your car, go grab your bottle of wine, and on the way, on your local radio, you could listen to me. How sick is that? Yes. All right, we're done. What's up? Darius from Kentucky, thanks for showing up here just in time for us to finish. Yep. Peace, Joey. Thanks for hanging out. Darius missed the whole show. Yes, you did. Moo. All right, guys. Let's see. If you're talking about Facebook, they may have a major hacking problem. They ain't protecting accounts. Yeah, no. Come on now. Let's be real. They're the technocrats. They don't do that. But okay, we're done. I'm going to play some outro music. We're going to give you the what we normally do, which is, I don't know, the outro. Let's play this. Let's pick this one. All right, swamp gas, ball lightning, scientific writing off of UFOs, Project Blue Book. It almost seems funny, doesn't it? It almost seems funny. Maybe it is funny. Joey says, yep, why do aliens always abduct the cows? Haven't you ever had a cow, bro? That's delicious. All right, finishing this up. Thanks for hanging out. Everybody in the chat, all the great calls tonight. Thanks again for making this easy to do. I appreciate it a lot. Yes, we gotta go. Yep, no problem. I understand. Thank you for staying up late, listening. I know a lot of you guys are in international locations, and it is late. So thank you for that. To everybody else, thank you for doing you, being here. Thanks for listening. As you know, we'll continue to talk about this. The conversation persists. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. And I'm your host, Michael Strange. I can't do it, Eric. I'm exhausted. It's been a long week, dude. A lot of shows this week. I can't do it. William says we figure out suspicious stuff here because we have troubled minds. I'm telling you, the more you look into stuff, the more suspicious stuff seems. It's weird. It's weird. It's definitely weird. Larry, William, Eric, Penny, Leslie, Bailey, Kate, I see you in the chat. Thanks for hanging out, guys. And as we finish, we'll be back. If you can't have enough, there's tons of archives, I promise, on YouTube you haven't seen. There's no way you've heard all the words I've said, because holy smokes, I've said a ton of words. I wonder if I can count that high to 1 million. But anyway, we're done. Once again, Troubled Minds, Michael Strange. I'm me, you're you. Be sure, be strong, be true. Thanks for listening. From our Troubled Minds to yours. Have a great night.